Want to play golf with a legend? Tuesday, October 14th at the Nancy Lieberman Foundation Celebrity Golf Classic at Prestonwood Country Club in Plano. Join me and legendary golfer Annika Sorenstam. We're going to raise money for kids in the Metroplex. To play or sponsor, call 972-473-2121 or go to nancyliebermanfoundation.org.
660 AM. The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
Greetings and welcome to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells and I am wearing a pink shirt. And man, when I say pink, I mean pink. You know why? Do you know why I'm wearing a pink shirt? Mary Ann Means Dufresne does. She joins us now on the Wells Report because we are celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And Mary Ann, welcome to the Wells Report. Good to have you here.
Thank you, Jon-David, and thank you for wearing your pink today.
Do you realize how hard it was for me to find this shirt?
I'm so proud of you.
Actually, you know what? I was proud of my fellow men in North Texas because I could not find hardly any extra large pink polo shirts like I'm wearing right now.
Right. Yeah, you got to have that man size.
Well, yeah.
That, right?
Yeah. Well, you're right. And I've got to be honest with you. My wife's family had been touched by breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
She lost her mother at age 13. And when October comes around, we say, hey, you know what? We're gonna do something besides just stand there silently, and that's why we have the executive director for the Susan G. Komen Greater Fort Worth chapter joining us, Mary Ann Means Dufresne. It's good to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. And those personal stories is what makes Komen and our affiliates around the country so powerful. Is that people have a need to express their passion for seeing the women and the men in their lives survive this disease.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that it was, I'm trying to remember his name. He played Shaft, Richard Roundtree.
That's right.
Richard Roundtree suffered breast cancer and lost his right pec because of it.
That's right. We actually have a board member, Aubrey Palmer, in Greater Fort Worth, who's one of our top fundraisers for Race for the Cure. And he is a breast cancer survivor. So it does affect men, and that's a really important message.
Let's talk a little bit about what you guys have going to raise funding. People can go to the website, which is Komen, Komen, greaterfortworth.org. Is that correct?
That's right. And we have a fantastic restaurant program going on this month in Fort Worth and in Southlake. We have about 27 restaurants that have committed to proceeds from a certain menu item. Some are doing fixed price menus, and it's really just an awesome opportunity to raise awareness for the cause and also for people to give back while doing something that we have to do in our crazy busy lives, which is eating out.
Yeah, indeed. And by the way, if you're not sure whether or not the menu item is, one of the qualifying things, just go ahead and order a cream puff anyway.
There you go.
You see, I'm just trying to mash potatoes, cream puff, something.
I love that. It totally works. Yeah, my husband and I we're planning on gaining weight this month because we have dined out so far 3 times. Saturday we went to World of Beer for brunch.
There you go.
Yeah. Sunday we went to Capitol Grill for dinner. Today I went to Yogi's for lunch, and tonight we're going to Max's Wine Dive for dinner. So
hey, boo-boo. Well,
that's right.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm so glad I'm so glad you're doing this. So is there on the website, will you find like a list of places and where people can go?
In fact, if you Google Dine Out for the Cure Fort Worth, it will take you to our website, and you can see all of the participating restaurants and how they're participating. Also, donations, of course, are always welcome. And we also have a Worship in Pink program this month, where we've got materials and training available for churches who are interested in participating, so we can get the word out that way. So a lot going on this month, including a Tarrant County-wide screening day on November 14th, where we will be providing 300 mammograms.
Oh, that's very nice of you. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Fantastic. It's going to be going on all month from what I understand. Is that
that's
correct?
right. That's
Okay.
exactly right.
And people will see this on NFL games, this very same pink.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, you'll see it everywhere. And awareness is important. A lot of people say there's too much pink. There's not enough
No.
pink until we find a cure and until no woman or man is dying from this disease.
Once again, Komen, Komen, greaterfortworth.org, and Mary Ann Means Dufresne, thank you so much for being the executive director.
Thank you so much, Jon-David.
And thanks for joining us here, okay?
Thank you. Have a great night.
Yeah, we certainly will, and thank you very much for all of your great work. By the way, we'll have a link to the website up on the Wells Report page of 660amtheanswer.com. We'll have that for you. As a matter of fact, you probably be able to find it even after just as I stop talking about it just now. So there you go. All right. So Marianne Means Dufresne, nice person helping us out. Let's talk about. Speaking of boobs. There are gun control fanatics out there, and there are gun control fanatics because people in this country have forgotten what happens when you give away your guns. And it's a huge mistake, and it's something that I don't want anybody to be mistaken about. There's a lot of things that are going on because of the shooting in Roseburg, Oregon. I found today that President Obama is going to inflict himself on Roseburg. Oh, that'll be great. I'm sure that the people there will be many people there very happy to see him. But there will also be a lot of people there that are saying, we really don't blame the tools around here. We blame the craftsmen when things go wrong. And once again, we find ourselves dealing with all of this with brave and stupid statements being made nearly everywhere. For example, Hilary Clinton, less than 1 week after the deadly shooting, and it has to be brought up yet again, okay? The bodies hadn't been moved from Umpqua Community College before President Obama was spewing forth with his gobbledygookian anti-American crap, okay? There is another way of looking at this. There's another way of looking at this, and we're going to get to that in just a minute. There is another way to pass legislation that makes this a safer world instead of an unsafer world. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But Hillary Clinton has proposed a series of gun control measures that she would enact if elected president. I want to push hard to get more sensible restraints. I want to work with Congress, but I'll always look at ways as president, which is a veiled threat to use executive power. She called for expanded background checks for firearm sales online and at gun shows, already passed in the state of Oregon. Clinton also called for closing loopholes in federal laws that allow for gun sale transactions to be completed if the buyer's background check is not finished within 3 days, already passed in Oregon. There will be more details about her plans. She was planning on getting them out today, but once she realizes that everything that she's put out there is already the case in Oregon, she may have a problem coming up with something that would work at all. She is trying to do something to fill the gap between herself and a full-on, no-fooling socialist named Bernie Sanders. Her campaign says her proposals include a repeal of legislation shielding gun manufacturers, distributors, and dealers from liability lawsuits. That's going to be really hard to get past, especially when you consider that the government of the United States is responsible for the sales that led to Fast and Furious. She's going to try to remove these shields, even in the case of mass shootings like the one that killed 9 students and teachers at Oregon Community College. How are you going to hold these gun companies responsible if their product works as designed? I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, so So in other words, if you come up with a product that does exactly what you say it's going to do, well, we're going to sue you for it, buddy. Uh-huh. That's not going to work. Everything that's being said by this woman right now is why the founding fathers put in the Second Amendment. Everything. Everything. Bernie Sanders, has wooed the Democrat base with his liberal positions on issues like income inequality, college debt. He struggled to defend a more mixed record on gun legislation, a reflection of his rural, gun-friendly home state. Sanders backed all the Democrat gun bills brought up in Congress after Sandy Hook, but in 1993 he voted against the landmark Brady handgun bill, which imposed a 5-day waiting period for gun purchasers. And he backed the 2005 legislation granting legal immunity to many in the gun industry. Sanders now says he supports banning assault weapons and closing the so-called gun show loophole that exempts private, unlicensed gun sales from background checks. I'm going to try in every way. I'm going to get those guns out of people's hands. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say one thing here, that when gun-free people like me say that you should be able to go to a gun store, or I'm sorry, a gun show, and make a purchase without running the person through a background check, you're giving these people an opening. If I was running a gun show, everybody would get a background check who was purchasing a weapon. I don't care whether they were purchasing somebody that bought a table or somebody that didn't buy a table. I wouldn't sell a weapon to anyone without a background check under any circumstances. That's just me. Because I don't want to sell a weapon to a felon. Do you? So all of this comes down to these people working their absolute dead level best to do anything, because any gun control legislation is better than no gun control legislation. And this incremental push to keep us completely unarmed before the government maelstrom is the only possible way these people plan on moving forward with their agenda. It's the only reason for their agenda in the first place. And why can I say something so bold like that? Well, I'll tell you. Because we could pass laws in this nation that would absolutely take care of all of this with everybody keeping their gun rights. Every single one of them. Yeah, there's a way to do it. It's almost the exact opposite of what Hilary Clinton wants to do. Because what it does is it puts the real responsibility on the people who are really responsible. You want to know what my collection of gun laws would be? I'll tell you. Coming up in just a couple of seconds. You know what? And the best part about it is I'm not running for anything. See, that's the best part. I'm not running for anything. I'm just your neighbor. 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. You're listening to The Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. And yeah, Hillary Clinton is talking tough about stuff she knows nothing about. I mean, I'd have a lot more interest in her credibility if she wasn't walking around with a huge entourage with people armed to the teeth. You're listening to The Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Just in time for Halloween, 660 AM The Answer presents The Democratic Debate. And you can watch it live with your friends at the Studio Movie Grill in Dallas. Come out and join Mark Davis and Jon-David Wells. This one just might scare your socks off as we gather to see what we're up against next November, Tuesday, October 13th at the Studio Movie Grill in Dallas. Tickets are just $10. Available at 660amtheanswer.com.
Sponsored by AAA Auger Plumbing Services.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
This is Stanley. He's just an average guy, and although he's not a sharp dresser, Stanley has his mojo back, and his wife is smiling because he went to National Vitality Center in Dallas.
National Vitality Center is a men's health clinic comprised of professionals that have years of experience and expertise treating personal issues that men face like ED, low sex drive, or impotence. The doctors at National Vitality Center have helped thousands of men feel years younger, have more energy, perform better at work, and in the bedroom.
Now Stanley has more confidence. He has lots of energy, and his wife?
Oh, Stanley.
Call National Vitality Center today for a confidential visit and a $99 consultation that will include a comprehensive hormone panel and examination. Call 214-301-0994. That's 214-301-0994. Or find them online at nationalvitality.com. That's nationalvitality.com.
Howdy folks, Crazy Gun Dealer here, and I have a crazy pistol deal for you. Smith & Wesson 9mm or 40 cal pistols, only $289 with ammo purchase. That's right, $289 for a Smith & Wesson 9 or 40 pistol. Now this is in-store only and while they last, so you better get here quick. And as always, you still get free Texas CHL classes, a free lifetime warranty, free range membership, and free test firing on most handguns. And if that's not enough, if we don't already have the best gun price you found anywhere, we'll beat any price gun to gun, or we'll give you the gun for free, because nobody wants your gun business more than the Crazy Gun Dealer. That's the Crazy Gun Dealer in Alvarado. For more information, visit crazygundealer.com. Follow us by texting crazy to 24587 or give us a call at 855-329-4867. That's 855-329-GUNS.
All offers and promotions subject to change or restrictions. See store for complete details.
Check, please. No, I got it. That's the second time this week. And you got a new smartphone? Did you get a raise?
Nope, I got a refi on my car loan with EECU Credit Union.
Can I get one too?
Sure, just call 800-849-9977. They'll beat your current APR by 2% and lower your payment.
2%? Heck, with that kind of money, I could buy lunch for you and get that new 50-inch TV.
Yeah, I was paying 4% APR and they took me down to 2% APR. Plus, I got up to 90 days to make my first payment.
But you're not a teacher.
You don't have to be a teacher to refinance your car loan with EECU. Just call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660. Tell them your current APR, and as long as you've had your loan at least 90 days, they'll beat it by 2%.
Can't beat that.
But you got to move fast. It's a limited time offer in celebration of their new Alliance Town Center branch. So call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660.
Subject to credit approval. Floor rate is 2.00 annual percentage rate. Membership required. Not valid with loans currently financed with the ECU. Additional terms and conditions apply. Call 800-849-9977 for details.
Men, if you're like me, you appreciate the feeling of a clean, smooth shave from a quality blade. The sort of shave that cuts clean without the burn. So why are you messing around with generic razors that cost $32 for an 8-pack when you can shave with Harry's high-quality German-engineered blades for half the price? And if saving money and a clean shave isn't incentive enough, Harry's will give you their starter set, complete with a razor, 3 of their world-famous blades, and shaving cream for just $15. And shipping is always free. We'll also give you $5 off your first order. Our way of saying thank you for trying us. How are we able to save you all this money and still give you the best shave you'll ever enjoy? By owning the factory that manufactures them. That's how. So go to harrys.com right now and enter code 2424 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 2424.
660 AM, The Answer. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. How are you doing? Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. Politicians who are clueless are trying to tell us how to live. They have had their way. Let's see, in Chicago, a violent September in Chicago ended with more homicides than any other month this year, and the second most shootings, according to data kept by Chicago Tribune's breaking news desk. Do you suppose that's because all the rural counties in Illinois are able to sell guns willy-nilly to anybody who wants them, and they all take them to Chicago to shoot each other with? Or do you suppose it's because no one can arrest an African-American in Chicago for anything, for any reason, because it's racial profiling, and the guy who arrests a black person is going to get arrested himself and thrown in jail? Which do you think is the most likely? Same thing in Baltimore. Baltimore's bloody summer ended with a barrage of bangs as the rate of homicide and gun crimes continued to spike in the wake of racially charged cases, including Freddie Gray, whose death in police custody left citizens angry and cops demoralized. Which do you suppose? You know, you can't buy a gun in either of those cities, right? You can't have a gun in either of those cities. Well, it's because every place else in Maryland you can go and buy a gun and they just bring them into Baltimore willy-nilly to kill each other. No, it's because there is no way to buy a gun in any of those cities. Therefore, you have an automatic black market in guns in those cities. Therefore the criminals, because there is a thriving black market, only criminals are actually taking part in that black market. Therefore, they know exactly where to get their weapons that they shoot each other with. This is a self-created problem by the same politicians who want to continue creating it across the land so that more people and more people and more people can get killed, so that fewer guns and fewer guns and fewer guns can be had to defend yourself with, so that government agents can go and do as they see fit to kill anybody they feel like killing. And let me tell you something. If you don't believe that's the case, then you just go over to Great Britain and ask anybody about the SAS. Because if they don't like you, they'll just kill you. It's what they do. Let me get to Brandon and Rowlett. Brandon, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Wells Report. Hello.
Hey, thank you, sir. I was going to tell you that this is just the liberals' way to sensationalize everything. It's a Jerry Springer tactic. There are less people that are killed by guns than other instruments that are handheld.
That's exactly right. Hammers. Number one murder weapon anywhere. Hammers.
Yeah, you don't go to Lowe's and have to fill out reports and your background history to buy a hammer, or go to Academy to buy a bat, or go to Kohl's and buy a knife set.
That's right. You don't. Let me get to Kurt in Bedford. Kurt, thank God for your call, sir.
You know what? That last gentleman is quite right.
Yeah.
I just heard the breakdown on the stats. CNN was spouting all day about 33,000 gun-related deaths. And when you break it down, there's a large portion, I think almost 2/3 were suicide.
Right.
Anyway, you keep breaking it down into subgroups. There are actually more people killed by blunt objects.
Of course there are. I mean, by a long shot. By a long shot. Pardon the pun. By a long shot. It's silly stupidness. This whole thing is absolute ridiculousness, and I know how to solve it. I know how to pass gun laws that will work. And I'll tell you about him in just a couple of seconds. I was going to tell you about him then, but I had 3 phone calls. Dusty, by the way, from Cedar Hill wants to talk. We'll get to, is that a him or a her? Him. We'll get to Dusty in just a couple of minutes as we continue on the Wells Report for this Monday night on 660 AM The Answer.
Sean Hannity explains how Trump has earned to be the frontrunner.
Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, has earned his status, his frontrunner status, fair and square. He didn't steal it. He hasn't lied. If anything, he's been refreshingly honest. Now, Trump may not be a conservative the way I'm a conservative, but certainly his supporters are.
The Sean Hannity Show, afternoons at 2, right before Michael Medved at 5 on 660 AM The Answer.
The only Boat Talk radio show in town is right here on 660 AM The Answer. Hi, everyone. Dennis Gibbs, the boat guy here. Live every Saturday at 6 p.m. The Big Boat and Outdoor Show has great advice on how to maintain your boat the right way. Lake Level Ginger's Lake Report keeps you informed, and our special guest has you entertained. It's all about having fun on the water. The Big Boat and Outdoor Show, brought to you by BoatSelect.com, the site where thousands of boats are for sale.
Passing down generational skill sets and knowledge is part of what made this country great. We need to get back to that. I'm pastor and businessman David Mitchell. Join me and my team for a 2-day training event where we share the skill sets I learned from my grandfather. I've used these skill sets to generate wealth for my own family so that I never had to take a salary from the church. We will teach you the same powerful short-term trading strategies as well as longer-term investment strategies. That way you can pass the skill sets down through several generations of your own family and help get this country back on track. New venture on Wall Street. Build your legacy.
Coming to the Holiday Inn Dallas Park Cities and Sheraton Arlington, October 23rd and 24th. Only $99.95 for your entire household, plus a free ticket for a friend and full money-back guarantee. Call 877-907-TRADE. That's 877-907-8723. Or go to nvows.com. That's nvows.com.
Business owners, listen up. Give me an I. Give me an M. Give me a C. What's that spell? Incorporation, protection, success. Incorporate your business.
INC. If you're about to start a business, these 3 little letters can make the difference between making a fortune and losing everything. Because if you're not incorporated and someone sues your business, you can lose it all. Your home, your car, even your life savings. That's why Incorporate.com is now giving away a free incorporation guide to all business owners. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. Protect your home, protect your car, protect your life savings. Call 1-800-616-4933 for your free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy.
Incorporation, protection, success. Incorporate your business.
Call now for your free guide. 1-800-616-4933. That's 1-800-616-4933.
Sample comes with a 90-day order. Copays and deductibles may apply.
People who use urinary catheters are smiling. They called and got a free catheter sample pack of the new virtually painless catheters from Medical Direct Club. Call now and you can get your free catheter sample pack. 1-800-900-0285. These new catheters hurt less. You've never used catheters like this before. You'll receive the discreet pocket catheter for private use when you're not at home. The self-lubricating catheter for less pain and no mess. Some patients say it doesn't hurt at all. And the new polished eyelet catheter with virtually pain-free technology. It may reduce pain and the chance of urinary tract infections. For women, you'll receive the SpeedyCath compact catheter. About the size of lipstick, it fits right in your purse. Call now for your free catheter sample pack and free shipping. It will arrive with a 90-day supply, all at little or no cost to you. We'll even bill Medicare and your insurance for you. And if you don't experience less pain, we'll pick them up for free. Call 1-800-900-0285. That's 1-800-900-0285.
This is Dan Tullis, and I just called Joel Clark, one of Select Quote Insurance Services' term life agents. Hi, Mr. Tullis. Joel, how does Select Quote save you money on term life insurance? Well, buying term life insurance is all about choosing the right company. Let's say you take antidepressants or you smoke. All insurance companies are going to price that differently. We'll impartially shop all the companies we represent to find you the best price. Can you give me an example? Sure. I just got a man, 40 years old, on cholesterol medication, a $500,000 policy with a highly rated insurance company. His price, under $25 a month.
Call 1-800-977-3397 and see how affordable term life insurance can be. That's 1-800-977-3397. 1-800-977-3397. Or go to selectquote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors not available in all states.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. If it's important to you, it's on the Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. I am talking about what liberals love to talk about whenever there is a horrifying disastrous tragedy, and that is that we have to have more people succumb to horrifying, terrible tragedies so they have something to talk about and base passing laws on, apparently. Because what they're doing is creating the problem that they're crying about on national television, ably assisted by stupid people that we used to refer to as journalists. Let me get to Dusty in Cedar Hill. Dusty, welcome to the Wells Report. Hi.
Hey, buddy, thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I just wanted to say that as a private individual, there's no mechanism in place for me to do a background check on somebody I want to sell a gun to.
Meet him at a gun show.
At a gun show, if you're a dealer, you have to do a background check. But so you would have to transfer that gun to that dealer, and he would have.
No,
to
you
sell
wouldn't.
it.
You just take him right over to the table and say, "Hey, would you run a background check on this guy? He wants to buy this weapon."
Well, they won't do that because, well, they would for a fee because they have to enter it in their books. And then they
Okay,
have to do
so
the background check.
then what
So
ends up
there's
happening
extra
is
fee
the guy
for it.
who's buying the weapon pays the fee.
That's true, but if somebody else sells him one without doing that, then he can buy it cheaper. I'm just saying there's no mechanism.
Well, you
in
see,
place
there
for
is a
private
mechanism.
individuals.
There is a mechanism in place. I just told you about it, and the question about it is this: okay, do you want to do it my way, where you take the guy over to the table, you say this is going to cost you $25, and you just go through the background check? You want to do it that way, or do you want a mechanism in place? Do you want somebody else to put a mechanism in place for you?
Well, I just don't believe that will
Yes
stop
or
it.
no?
They're gonna-
Yes or
they're
no?
gonna-
No, it won't work. No, you're right. No,
Yeah.
you're right. Universal background checks don't work, Dusty, because Oregon has universal background checks. They don't work.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
but what I'm asking you is this is something they keep hanging up on. People going to gun shows, and being able to find somebody selling a weapon and being able to buy it without having to run it through the gun show background check. I won't sell a weapon that way.
Well, I mean, and that's your prerogative on the thing. I'm just saying there's not a mechanism in place.
Like I'm
If it's your
saying,
private
Dusty, are
property-
you seeing what I'm telling you here?
Certainly.
Okay, if you don't want a mechanism in place, you might want to put one in yourself. Because if we keep saying that there's just no way to do this, and I ought to be able to sell a gun anytime I want to for whatever, if you do that, if you keep doing that, there will be
however,
Dusty, you got to listen to me, man.
Sure.
If you keep doing this, there's going to be a mechanism in place.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you don't want a law, you better make the law unnecessary.
Well, I understand there is a private individual can't knowingly sell a firearm to a minor and a criminal. That's already in place. You
Well,
can't knowingly do that.
How do you know if somebody's a felon?
Well, I mean,
They don't have a big
can't
F
unless
on their
you know 'em.
forehead. Yeah,
In other
well,
words, if you don't know them, you don't
see?
know.
Yeah, and if you don't know them, you get a background check. It's real simple, Dusty. We don't do that. They're going to do it for us. I'm just saying. Okay? And I don't know whether there's some sort of licensing group or some sort of industry group that these various gun shows work through, right? But they need to come up with this policy. If I was running a gun show, hey, you want to run somebody through a background check before they buy your weapon? $10. There you go. Nobody's hurt. And everybody's happy. That's what I would think would be the right thing to do. That's what I think would be the right thing to do. If we don't do it, they're going to do it for us. Okay, so here's my gun control package. You ready? Here it is. First of all, nothing changes that we have to this point. When you go and you buy a weapon at a gun store, nothing changes. Everything stays exactly the way it is. However, if you have a concealed weapons permit, you can buy any weapon you want, anytime you want, and take it with you anywhere you want to go. Anywhere. No 30-06 sign, no 51% sign, no can't take it into federal court sign, can't take it into state court sign. You can go anywhere you want to with your weapon, period. And if the federal courts have a problem with that, then they can take their federal courts outside of Texas. Because you're not going to give up what you have to give up to get a concealed handgun license, your fingerprints, your background, your address, everything. You're not going to give up all that liberty and freedom without getting something back. And getting something back is going anywhere you want to with your weapon. Period. And by the way, I would not put a mechanism in place that Dusty and I just talked about. I would rely on the good sense of the people of Texas to get a background check before they sell a weapon to somebody they don't know. Like I said, you don't do that, they're going to take care of it for us. But I have a CHL. And there should be no place I can't take my CHL. College campus, no problem. Elementary school campus, no problem. There's also something else I would do. What I would do is I would make all CHL gun laws reciprocal. National reciprocity. If you want to go to Umpqua Community College, take your weapon with you. I hear it's a dangerous place. There's also something else I'd do. I'd make willful gun-free zones illegal. Anybody that runs a campus, anybody that runs a college, university, and so on and so forth, no federal grant money if you've got a gun-free zone. No federal grant money, period. Done. Finished. Now, if you want to limit the people carrying weapons to people that have CHLs, I might look at that. But somebody'd have to have a hell of an argument for it. National reciprocity. No gun-free zones. And if you're Cinemark Theaters and you want a gun-free zone, do business where they have gun-free zones. There are no gun-free zones in Texas, especially for people with CHLs, period. By the way, I'd also spend a little bit more time enforcing CHL law. Okay? I've been carrying a weapon now for, close to 20 years. And except for being stopped by traffic cops, except for being stopped by traffic cops, nobody has ever asked me about my CHL. I've never had anybody, no police officer, come up to me and say, hey, have you got a CHL? Maybe that's just a testament to how well I conceal one. But all I can tell you is I think that there ought to be a little bit more about that. Sir, are you carrying a weapon? Yes, I am. May I see your CHL, please? Yes, you may. So that's what I think. Because I think that people that create a position or place that no one can carry a weapon in, they give up the right to bitch if somebody gets shot in the middle of that gun-free zone. We don't have the president of the United States going up and saying to every law-abiding citizen in the United States that they have to turn in their weapons because your dumbass decided to make it possible for an animal to come and kill your neighbors. That's on you. If you're some idiot that wants to go ahead and teach college and have no one on campus carrying a weapon, move to California. But the first thing that somebody should have done when some dumb butt at Umpqua Community College said, we're just going to have a gun-free zone because there shouldn't be any guns where people are learning anything. Uh-huh. As if learning something precludes your intelligence. We can't have anybody intelligent enough to believe that there might be somebody coming on campus with a gun actually learning anything on our campus. Norma in Arlington, welcome to the Wells Report.
Thank you. What about private property? It sounds like you mean business, yes, should not be able to. But what about homes? Because sometimes there are even family members you feel are a bit too careless. And I've owned a gun since I was 19 years old and never had a problem with it. But there are people that I wouldn't want to come to my home that I love, that I would not want carrying a gun around the kids and stuff.
Do they have a CHL?
No, but I don't carry it outside the home at this point.
Well, the only thing I can tell you is that if they're carrying a weapon, that is concealed, okay, and they don't have a CHL, they're breaking the law,
right?
And you should send them away,
right?
But if you've got a relative that's surrendered their rights and liberties to the point where they have an actual CHL license that they carry with them everywhere they go, why wouldn't you want them to have a weapon in your house? Chances are very likely that they're a lot safer than the guy with a hammer who's redoing the shingles on your roof.
That would be a family member too.
See? See what I mean? Well, when you think about the number one murder weapon in America being a hammer,
right?
I mean, you got to look at this realistically, Norma. I mean, you've had a weapon since you were a baby. Okay. I mean, you said you had one since you're 19. So what? You've had one for 10 years. Okay. So you don't have to worry about anybody coming to your house, and doing you in.
Oh, no. No. And I'm all for that. That's not what but I mean, do you believe that? I still believe that on private property, your home, the choice should be yours. I don't.
Let that be on a case-by-case basis. Okay. I'm not going to force a federal law or force a state law to push, gun ownership on people or whether somebody has a CHL going onto your property. Right.
Amen.
I mean, I'm not going to force that. That's up to you. Right. But Norma, I got to tell you, I won't be coming to your house if I can't defend myself. I've heard that there are crazy people in your neighborhood. I'm just saying. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding, Norma. That's a joke. Just relax. See, if you don't trust your family members with a weapon, why should I trust your family members with a weapon?
Jon-David, a caller called, but he couldn't stay on hold. Wanted to know, do you really believe this is just about getting votes, or do you believe they are trying to disarm us?
I believe they're trying to disarm us. I believe this is about both. I believe this is a mantra that changes the United States of America. What is the number one thing in the way of most political agendas? What is it? What's the number one thing? The Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights. That's why politicians can't get done what they want to get done, which is why we have a Constitution and Bill of Rights in the first place. You see, we hold these people at bay. In this country, the government fears the people, not the other way around. Okay?
EOS Mobile.
And I don't care how many people say, well, Australia doesn't have that problem. Yeah, there are 20 million people living in Australia. Okay? There are more people living in New York City, in the New York City area, the megalopolis. There are more people living in New York City than live in all of Australia. Do they have any problem with murders and gunfire in New York City? You bet they do. Why? Because chances are, in that huge wad of people, that you are not going to run across somebody else with a gun when you decide to take everything they own, up to and including their life. You see, there are plenty of ways to do this, right? No gun-free zones. No gun-free zones. CHL holders can take their weapons anywhere they want to go. We've got proof that what we do works. The only thing that proves that what they do works are dead bodies everywhere. I rest my case. Again, this is the Wells Report. While we're on the topic of people trying to take away our freedoms and liberties, do you realize that your cell phone company is a part of a greater cabal that has donated $100 million to liberal politicians' causes at local, state, and national levels? Do you realize that? Yeah. Your little cell phone is a paycheck for politicians of the liberal caste. Do you want to keep it that way? No, I didn't think so. That's why you ought to give EOS Mobile a call. They're the only mobile company that pledges to support conservative causes, groups, and candidates. 5% of every dollar that you spend with EOS Mobile goes to conservative causes. They've got coast-to-coast high-speed data and crystal clear voice coverage, wide selection of all your favorite smartphone devices. EOS Mobile plans are on average 10 to 15% lower in price than the big guys for the same package of phone, data, text, and talk. Okay, so let's review. You get the same quality, if not better. You get a better price, and you get better causes because AT&T isn't throwing your money at the feet of liberal politicians. I'm just telling you. Call EOS Mobile for more information or contact them this way at eoscell.com. That's eoscell.com. eoscell.com. Head on over there. Tell them you heard about it on the Wells Report.
Isn't thinking so much more fun than getting yelled at? The Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. You've heard me talk about how great it was for Josh DeShong to take the reins and sell our house. I want him to do the same for you, and I asked Josh how he can make that promise to agree on a sales price and a time frame, and if it doesn't happen, he buys your house. How's that working out?
We can drive more exposure than anybody else can on our properties. The more exposure means more money.
It's basically legwork, doing the marketing, getting that first set. You only need one buyer. Always heard you say you need one buyer. Your job, find it.
Yep, exactly. And so the more people that see the property, the more somebody ends up paying for it, the more it's better for everybody all around. So we've been at right now to about a house a day this year.
Josh DeShong Real Estate, top ranked for a reason. Call him at 972-325-6644 or the website getsold.net. When it's time to get serious about selling that home, call the man who did it for us, Josh DeShong, 972-325-6644 or getsold.net, 972-325-6644.
There are times when people need a little extra money, honest, hardworking people, and some banks don't always make it fast or easy. But finally, there's a company that gets it that could help my listeners that need the money. Avant. You simply go to avantoffer.com to check your rate risk-free with no effect on your FICO score. Complete your application in minutes, and the funds could be in your account as soon as tomorrow. If any of my listeners need a loan between $1,000 and $35,000, go to avantoffer.com. Avant will give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after you make your first payment on time. For this offer and to check your rate risk-free, go to avantoffer.com and enter promo code Prager. That's AVANT offer.com, promo code Prager. Loans made by WebBank and by affiliates of Avant Incorporated. California loans offered by Avant are made under finance lender's license number 603K124. Funds are generally deposited via ACH for delivery next business day. If approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
If you could choose any school from which to earn your college degree and be on your way to a better life, would you choose a school the Wall Street Journal recognized for producing some of the best qualified graduates? One the Princeton Review ranked as a leader in undergraduate education? And one U.S. News and World Report named #1 in the nation for innovation ahead of both MIT and Stanford? Discover why Arizona State University is a clear choice for your future. In addition, ASU Online offers over 100 graduate and undergraduate programs you can take 100% online and on your schedule. You'll receive the exact same curriculum, degree, and prestigious faculty as our on-campus students. For information, call 1-800-600-3122. U.S. News and World Report also ranked ASU in the top 10 best places to earn an online degree. So get started today and learn to thrive with Arizona State University online. Call today at 1-800-600-3122. That's 1-800-600-3122.
Is your medicine cabinet full of pill bottles for countless conditions? Has your health deteriorated over the years and you wish there was something that could help? There is. I'm Dr. Jim, and it's time to get with the program. Our program at Fat Loss DFW. You're guaranteed to lose up to 40 pounds in 40 days with our doctor-supervised personalized plan that is customized for your individual body type and addresses your specific health issues, like Jan from Arlington.
After I completed the program at Fat Loss DFW, I got off my type 2 diabetes meds. I lowered my bad cholesterol and dropped 45 pounds. Some people don't even recognize me anymore, including me sometimes when I look in the mirror.
We can help alleviate some of those awful chronic illnesses while increasing your energy. Go to fatlossdfw.com, take a look at our free video, and book your free consultation today. That's fatlossdfw.com. Or call us today at 844-801-THIN. That's 844-801-THIN.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. And by the way, I was cruising through social media over the weekend, and some leftist crazy people said, we need to kill everybody who's an NRA member, who's a member of the NRA or in the NRA lobbying circle. And I said, what are you going to use to kill us with? Your breath? I mean, seriously, what are you going to use, a hammer? I mean, that's the stuff that just drives me crazy. You know, the Umpqua Community College in Oregon shows yet another case where guns were banned. What happened as soon as this clown found somebody that was going to stop him with a gun? What happened? He shot himself in the head. How about this? How about if that guy who got shot 7 times had a SIG 40 that he pulled out of his pocket and pointed it right at the guy's face and said, drop your rifle. And if the guy twitched, he blew him to Mars. How many people would be dead then? Let's see. 1. Which is better? You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer. What's a stupid question, by the way? Why am I asking people that think that $18.5 trillion worth of federal debt is okay? Why am I asking them to do math?
Have you put off seeing the dentist because you can't afford to go? Are big dental bills taking a big toll on your wallet? Would you like to have dental insurance but think it's too expensive? If you answered yes to any of these questions, call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company for a free information kit. See how you can help protect your teeth and your wallet for less than $1 a day. 1-800-944-2955. This is real dental insurance that can help cover over 300 procedures, all the ones you're most likely to need. Everything from cleanings and fillings to crowns and dentures. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. You can see any dentist you choose and you'll never pay a deductible. Call in the next 10 minutes and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-944-2955. That's 1-800-944-2955. 1-800-944-2955.
America was built by people with a few dollars and a dream. And while many don't know it, there's one path to success that still only requires a dream and about $10. That's right. If your dream is to start or grow your business, something as simple as the right business card could make all the difference. And today at Vistaprint.com, you can get 500 full-color business cards for only $9.99. That's right, 500 business cards for just $9.99. What's more, you can choose between hundreds of designs or upload your own and customize them easily. And because they're from Vistaprint.com, the cards are of top quality and your satisfaction is 100% guaranteed. So visit Vistaprint.com today and get 500 shots at turning your dream into reality. Hurry, because this offer won't last long. To get your 500 business cards for just $9.99, go to Vistaprint.com. Click on the link in the upper right corner and use promo code 2323. That's Vistaprint.com. Click on the link in the upper right corner and use promo code 2323.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, Staples guy. My office computers are running really slow. Do you?
Staples has the latest Windows 10 devices. They're lightning fast.
But I want
a great deal. With Staples Price Match Guarantee, you'll always get the lowest price.
Wow, and do you have plans?
No, actually, I'm free.
I meant tech service plans.
Yes, we do. And I'm still free.
With Staples Price Match Guarantee, you'll get more tech for less.
Staples. Make more happen.
Price match valid at checkout for items from retailers operating online and retail stores or products sold and shipped by Amazon. See store or staples.com for details.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. The numbers keep growing in South Carolina. Record rainfall and flooding have killed 10. Hundreds have been rescued from inundated homes and vehicles. 40,000 are in the dark, and despite all that water, there's none that's safe to drink.
But watching the satellite imagery and the radar, the rain will come to an end. Really need to get through the next 12 to 24 hours, and then the rain will subside for many days, which is good news.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy is being challenged for the job of Speaker.
I'm not running against Kevin. I'm running for Speaker, and our conference deserves a choice. And shame on us if we don't put some people up to actually run for the most important office and position in the House of Representatives.
Utah Representative Jason Chaffetz, Speaker John Boehner steps down at the end of the month. NATO has called Russia's violations of Turkish airspace irresponsible behavior. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Dallas Baptist University Women's Night Out featuring Shonda Pierce, Thursday, October 15th, 2015, with Lindsay McCall and Karen Williams.
You ever tried to put on a pair of Spanx in an airplane bathroom? My body twisted in ways I didn't know could.
Focus on the funny. Get your women's group together for a fun night out. Women's Night Out at Northwood Church in Keller, Texas.
So, there I was. I didn't want to give in to the peer pressure, but they already had their bags of mascara out and their lipstick, and I'm like, what I got? Blistex.
Tickets on sale at iTickets.com. Call 1-800-965-9324. For group tickets, go to getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751. Buy 10 or more reserved seats at one time and save $5 per ticket. Buy 30 or more reserved seats at one time and save $5 per ticket and get 2 free tickets. From Salem Media Group, Inc. and Awakening Events.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head dealing with monthly payments, there's a powerful secret that credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $5,000 in credit card debt, you have the option to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Debt Relief Advocates, and we're offering you free information on how to virtually eliminate your credit card debt and make your monthly payment affordable. To see how much you could save, call now, 1-800-721-8733. Don't declare bankruptcy. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. Debt Relief Advocates. Live better debt-free. Find out how easy it is by calling now. For the secret the credit card companies don't want you to know, call Debt Relief Advocates now and see how much money you could save for free. Call 1-800-721-8733. That's 1-800-721-8733.
2 little tablets is all it takes to get thicker, fuller hair, guaranteed. Viviscal is the #1 drug-free hair growth supplement in the U.S., with 1 box being sold every minute globally. It's clinically proven, loved by celebrities, and recommended by doctors. And right now, a 90-day supply of Viviscal is being offered in your area risk-free plus free shipping. Call 800-481-7987. Viviscal nourishes thinning hair from within. It makes thin hair full hair beautiful, and promotes the growth of thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Viviscal is so effective, 96% of women would recommend it to a friend. Listen to this.
It's vibrant, shiny, bouncy, everything you want your hair to be. I love Viviscal because it works. It completely works.
Want to try Viviscal? Every listener that calls can try it risk-free for 90 days, plus free shipping. Get thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Call now, 800-481-7987. 800-481-7987. That's 800-481-7987.
Hey everybody, Mark Davis from my friends at Good Feet, America's #1 arch support. And that invites the question, who needs arch supports? Answer is more people than you think. Do your feet hurt at the end of a day? That's not just the way life is supposed to be. You should have arch support where your feet feel great even at the end of a long day of walking. If your feet hurt at the beginning of the day, man, you got all kinds of issues, and they can be helped. You can get out of pain with arch support. It could be structural misalignment, plantar fasciitis, kind of a foot alignment.
Jon-David, I take that back. We're doing Ed Klein here. May not have time.
At Good Feet. And what you'll know is you can walk in pain. You can limp in and walk out pain-free. This happens with so many people. I want to send everybody to goodfeetdfw.com, goodfeetdfw.com.
I only got about 20 seconds in segment one.
Absolutely fantastic.
No, let's do it at 30.
No medicine, no surgery, just relief from pain. So get out of
Your
pain
first
today.
clip is 1333 and the whole segment's only 1350.
888-660-0942 or goodfeetdfw.com. That's goodfeetdfw.com.
You want to feel connected, informed, included,
have to go over here because you're
inspired.
opening.
So when important things happen, we're here.
is longer
Your
than
local radio and TV broadcasters. America's #1 source for news, weather, and information on your radio, TV, computer, tablet, and smartphone. We are broadcasters, always here for you, wherever here may be. Tell Washington local stations matter by texting radio to 52886. Furnished by NAB and the station. Message and data rates may apply.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, Staples guy. My office computers are running really slow. Do you?
Staples has the latest Windows 10 devices. They're lightning fast.
But I want
a great deal. With Staples Price Match Guarantee, you'll always get the lowest price.
Wow, and do you have plans?
No, actually, I'm free.
I meant tech service plans.
Yes, we do. And I'm still free.
With Staples Price Match Guarantee, you'll get more tech for less. Staples, make more happen.
Price match valid at checkout for items from retailers operating online and retail stores or products sold and shipped by Amazon. See store or staples.com for details.
Saying I don't know is no longer acceptable. This is 660 AM, The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. She is salty. She is rude. She is arrogant. She's egotistical. And according to Ed Klein, the former foreign editor of Newsweek magazine and former editor-in-chief of New York Times magazine, she is unlikable. And the name of the book is likewise Unlikable. Ed Klein joins us. Sir, welcome to the Wells Report.
It's great to be with you, John. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, the book makes it irresistible. I have seen a lot of political books from time to time describing the various personality traits of various candidates and various parties and so on and so forth. But I've never seen one that starts with the word unlikable.
Right. Well, I think it's a very apropos word for Hilary. I was thinking of shameless as a title, and I decided, well, yeah, she's shameless, but a lot of politicians are shameless. But there's no one quite like Hilary when it comes to being unlikable.
Yeah, I mean, there are things here that she comes across as someone who is hard and harsh and completely and totally sure of herself, and everything that she knows and believes is something that should be written down or carved into granite.
Exactly. So, for instance, you're absolutely right. So, for instance, with this whole email scandal, she's behaving as though, me? What did I do wrong? I'm always right. I didn't do anything wrong. Oh, yeah, I've changed my story a half a dozen times. But it's all really a conservative conspiracy, and this is the way it's been ever since 1992 when my husband ran for president, and I'm used to it, and I don't care about it, and I don't take it seriously.
Now, we have heard that she is a salty human being. She uses salty language and
all the time,
and is very, very harsh with, I hate to say it this way, but underlings, let's say people who work for her or people who serve her like Secret Service agents. Is that
That's
true?
True. My friend Ron Kessler wrote a book about the Secret Service and its dealings with the first families down through history. And he gives Hilary the worst marks of all for just treating those guys who do such incredible work so poorly and so shabbily.
Ed Klein, our guest, he is a #1 New York Times bestselling author of Blood Feud, The Clintons versus the Obamas. That's also on Regnery. And, of course, he is the author of The Amateur, Barack Obama in the White House. That book really got my attention. That's what put you on the map with me, Ed. That was a
John.
genius book and right on time.
Thank you so much for those kind words. I appreciate it.
So some of the things that people will find in this book, there's a quote here, and it's on your press release, and I have to share it. Quote, this is Hilary speaking. Quote, I get $250,000 to give a speech, and these Hollywood jackasses are going to tell me how to do it, unquote.
Right. This is when Bill, her husband, was suggesting that they go to Steven Spielberg, their old pal Steven, as he put it, and have Steven Spielberg get Hilary some acting coaches so that she would learn how to be more likable when she gave speeches and when she appeared on television and when she indulged in debates. She resisted that for a while, but finally agreed to do it. And she set up a camera in the den of her home in Chappaqua, pretended to give speeches while she was being filmed, took the videos and sent them to Hollywood, to Spielberg, who shared them with these acting coaches. Then the acting coaches got back to Hilary with all their critiques. And Hillary Clinton does not like to be criticized, and certainly not continually criticized, about her looks, how she behaves, how her mouth looks, and all the gestures that you use when you're giving a speech. She was furious, and she took the video camera and smashed it on the floor because in addition to being salty, she also likes to throw things around, and told her friends, that's the end of my Stanislavski method acting period.
Good heavens. She also was reportedly heard to say, I'm not going to be someone I'm not.
Yes, well, she's been someone she's not practically for her whole life in some respects, because she's always been pretending to be something that she's really not. She's pretending to be in a good mood when she's not. She's pretending to like somebody when she doesn't. She's pretending to be in favor of something when, in fact, she isn't in favor of that. She will pretend to be almost anything to get what is her ultimate goal and Bill Clinton's ultimate goal, which is power.
Ed Klein is our guest, former editor-in-chief of New York Times Magazine. Let's talk a little bit about that chase for power. The end justifies the means is a quote that came out of the Nixon era. This level of, I don't know what to call it. This level of superiority or imperiousness seems to transcend even that.
Well, I agree. And, people have compared her to Nixon, called her Nixonian, by which they mean she's sort of a dark character who hides the truth and will do things behind your back that are basically illegal, which, of course, I believe she did with her emails. But I think she's different than Nixon in at least one regard, and that is Nixon really liked politics. He enjoyed the political game. Hillary does not. From all the interviews I've done about her, and I've now done 4 books in which she appears. This latest book, of course, Unlikable, is all about Hillary. And many hundreds of interviews and thousands of hours. And everyone who knows her says, this is a woman who has been married for 40 years to the best politician in America, Bill Clinton, and has not developed a single political gene in her body.
Let's talk a little bit about that marriage. 40 years to a philandering president.
Right.
How did she survive that as a woman? And she seems to have come through it just through force of personality and will. But how is it that she is able to set that stuff aside if that's a typical marriage? It must not be.
Well, this is a very interesting question because it goes to the core of her personality, John. If we say that, and I would say this, that Hillary Clinton, in addition to being unlikable, is often in a state of denial about the truth. such as, for instance, with the emails. She's in denial that this is a serious matter. She's been in denial about her husband ever since she met him, because when she met him and went to Little Rock to marry him, she knew then, I mean, she knew somewhere in her consciousness that he was a philanderer, but she pretended that she didn't know. And she's pretended ever since. She, as you recall, she went on 60 Minutes during the Jennifer Flowers thing, when he was running for president, and she defended him. I mean, I don't understand how, quite frankly, what I don't understand is how women voters can vote for Hillary Clinton when in fact she's behaved abominably. I mean, most self-respecting women would have left such a husband at the very beginning, years and years ago.
He is Ed Klein. He is the author of Unlikable. This is a book you have to read. If you enjoy complex personality sketches, this is the book to read regarding Hillary Clinton. You know what disturbs me about Hillary Clinton and what you're telling me, which is something that I hadn't really focused in on, is this willingness to detach from the reality around her. Unfortunately, Ed, I think that answers a lot of questions about some of the things that I have listening to her speak about any of the issues she's running on.
Hillary, until she ran for president this time around, Hillary and Bill were known as more, if you will call it, centrist Democrats. They represented the so-called New Democrats when Bill took office, and even she embraced that ideal, and that's why he triangulated with the Republicans and balanced the budget and did and reformed welfare, put more police on the streets of America while he was president, in conjunction with the Republican Congress, and she was part of all that. Now suddenly, we have Hillary, who's acting like Elizabeth Warren, the Looney Tunes left-wing senator from Massachusetts. You know, every day she comes out with a new far, far left-wing proposal. This is, I mean, how can people believe this? What principles does she have? It's very hard to believe that she believes in anything. And if I may continue for a second more, that's the reason that Barack Obama, who is basically a left-wing guy, not basically, he is a left-wing guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very left-wing, doesn't want to see Hillary president because he believes, and I agree with him on this one issue, he believes that she doesn't stand for anything, and that if she becomes president, his legacy is going to go up in smoke because you never can tell what she's going to do.
That's an absolute fact. I mean, I can hardly tell what President Obama is going to do next.
Well,
I mean,
sure.
When you start talking about a legacy, I'm trying to figure out just exactly what part of the impending disaster he's going to get credit for. But stop me from being partisan here for just a moment. Ed Klein, our guest on the Wells Report here on 660 AM, The Answer. One of the things that Hillary's having to deal with, and it's a really hard situation, is she's looking at jail time for running a private server out of Chappaqua, out of Colorado, in a broom closet. I mean, she's got big troubles with this email thing. Talk to us about a couple of things. First of all, why in heaven's name did she even consider doing it? Two, who's the one that dropped the dime on the entire deal?
Yeah, well, I'm going to try to be as concise about this as I can. Why did she do it? Because she's always done very much the same kinds of things. When she was First Lady, she tried to kick the entire White House press corps out of the West Wing of the White House and make them go to the next door executive office building. They resisted, and then she put a wall between the White House press corps, literally built a wall, so that they couldn't roam around the White House and find out things because she was so secretive. She also set up a phone system in the White House that skirted the White House switchboard. So we know that she's always acted in a cover-up way. Who dropped the dime on her? I have several chapters about this in Unlikable. It is clear to Bill Clinton, to her, Hillary, and it's been clear to all the people I've interviewed that the source of the leaks coming out about Hillary's emails, about her taking foreign donations to the foundation, which she shouldn't have done because she agreed not to while she was Secretary of State, her relationship with the repellent Sidney Blumenthal. All of this is coming out of the White House Oval Office. Valerie Jarrett, who's the president's chief political advisor, is the source of these leaks.
Incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible. Okay, so if that's the case, then that puts an entire different look on every single bit of what we're seeing here. So that begs the question, all right, why is it that Hillary Clinton is the front runner? Why wasn't she discouraged by the president and those loyal to the president and the Democrat Party to stay away from the 2016 presidential campaign? Why isn't Joe Biden in the race? I mean, there are so many questions that begs. I don't know where to start.
Well, we can have another go around, you and I, on the radio, and we'll talk about all that. Given the time frame I'd be happy to do that.
You know what? I'm going to do that. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep you for one more segment, if you don't mind, please, sir. And what we'll do is we'll talk a little bit about a few of those things as we continue with Ed Klein. He is the author of Unlikable, The Problem with Hillary, and that is but one of them. I've been startled in this interview, as I'm sure you have as well, that Hillary is willing to overlook the reality to find a more, I guess, pleasing or safe unreality. And we can see that in virtually everything she's done as she runs for the presidency of the United States. I'm not exactly sure someone not disconnected with reality makes a good presidential candidate, but we shall see in the infinite wisdom of the American people and their votes. Unlikable is the book, the author Ed Klein. You're listening to The Wells Report. Back with more in just a moment.
This is Bill. He still thinks he's a ladies' man. Bill's in denial. On most nights, his idea of fun was to plop on the couch and watch TV. Then his wife heard about National Vitality Center and called.
National Vitality Center is a men's health clinic comprised of professionals that have years of experience and expertise treating personal issues that men face like ED, low sex drive, or impotence. The doctors at National Vitality Center have helped thousands of men feel years younger, have more energy, perform better at work, and in the bedroom.
Now Bill has lots of energy. He's romantic again, and his wife has never been happier. Oh, Bill.
Call National Vitality Center today for a confidential visit and a $99 consultation that will include a comprehensive hormone panel and examination. Call 214-301-0994. That's 214-301-0994. Or find them online at nationalvitality.com. That's nationalvitality.com.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. I love birthdays, and our friends at Abacus Foundation Repair are celebrating 15 years of serving North Texas with the highest quality foundation repair, and they want to give something to you. On their 15th anniversary, $1,000 off any job with 10 pilings or more. Not only are you going to save $1,000, you'll have the peace of mind knowing that with Abacus Foundation, you're getting the elite state-of-the-art solution for your home. Millennium composite pilings. Nobody else has them. Abacus has an A-plus business rating from the Better Business Bureau, 6 straight years running on that. The expansion and contraction of Texas soils mean a lot of us have foundation issues. You don't want to call the wrong people. Call the right people first for the absolute best foundation repair. Affordable, reliable home warranty that you can pass on to subsequent owners of your home. Give them a call today, 972-406-9000, 972-406-9000, abacusfoundationrepair.com. Ask about $1,000 off. abacusfoundationrepair.com.
Check, please. No, I got it. That's the second time this week. And you got a new smartphone? Did you get a raise?
Nope, I got a refi on my car loan with EECU Credit Union.
Can I get one too?
Sure, just call 800-849-9977. They'll beat your current APR by 2% and lower your payment.
2%? Heck, with that kind of money, I could buy lunch for you and get that new 50-inch TV.
Yeah, I was paying 4% APR and they took me down to 2% APR. Plus, I got up to 90 days to make my first payment.
But you're not a teacher.
You don't have to be a teacher to refinance your car loan with EECU. Just call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660. Tell them your current APR, and as long as you've had your loan at least 90 days, they'll beat it by 2%.
Can't beat that.
But you got to move fast. It's a limited time offer in celebration of their new Alliance Town Center branch. So call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660.
Subject to credit approval. Floor rate is 2.00 annual percentage rate. Membership required. Not valid with loans currently financed with the ECU. Additional terms and conditions apply. Call 800-849-9977. $99.77 for details.
This is Dan Tullis, and I just called Joel Clark, one of Select Quote Insurance Services' term life agents. Hi, Mr. Tullis. Joel, how does Select Quote save you money on term life insurance? Well, buying term life insurance is all about choosing the right company. Let's say you take antidepressants or you smoke. All insurance companies are going to price that differently. We'll impartially shop all the companies we represent to find you the best price. Can you give me an example? Sure. I just got a man, 40 years old, on cholesterol medication, a $500,000 policy with a highly rated insurance company. His price, under $25 a month.
Call 1-800-977-3397 and see how affordable term life insurance can be. That's 1-800-977-3397. 1-800-977-3397. Or go to selectquote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Want to play golf with a legend? Tuesday, October 14th at the Nancy Lieberman Foundation Celebrity Golf Classic at Prestonwood Country Club in Plano. Join me and legendary golfer Annika Sorenstam. We're going to raise money for kids in the Metroplex. To play or sponsor, call 972-473-2121 or go to nancyliebermanfoundation.org.
660 AM. 660 AM. The Answer. 660 AM. TheAnswer.com. The Wells Report. A daily good old-fashioned North Texas barbecue of anybody trying to take advantage of us on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer. Our guest is Ed Klein. He is the author of Unlikable, The Problem with Hillary. As we were just discussing moments ago, it appears as though there is an Oval Office source for the information regarding the private email server of Hillary Clinton and all number of other personal pieces of data that Hillary has been fighting with as she runs for president in 2016. Ed, let's talk a little bit about why it is that she's running for president at all when the president clearly doesn't want her to.
She's running for president because literally she's been thinking about this since high school. College, she was encouraged by her college classmates to be the first woman president. She married Bill Clinton with the idea clearly in her mind that Bill was going to be president. She would become a national figure, and after his presidency, she would be president. And indeed, she ran in 2008 for the presidency, as we know, tried to get the nomination. She was definitely the person who had the inside track in 2008, and then who came along but Barack Obama, and she lost it.
So why isn't Joe Biden running instead of Hillary Clinton?
Well, I think Joe Biden is giving it not only serious thought, but is preparing to run. He's been talking to big donors. He's been talking to major figures in the Democratic Party. Most important of all, he's been talking to Valerie Jarrett, the president's chief advisor, and the president, and they are encouraging him deeply. I mean, really urging him to get into the fray and knock Hillary off, because they would rather see Joe succeed Barack Obama than Hillary Clinton. And Bill, they certainly don't want Bill back in the White House.
Yeah, that would be a completely different reversal of fortune, wouldn't it? Let's talk quickly, if you don't mind. I'd like to know a little bit more about which Republican candidate the campaigns fear the most.
The Republican that Bill Clinton, who is, of course, an astute political observer, fears the most is Marco Rubio. He's, I have a chapter about this too in Unlikable. He goes through, Bill in this chapter goes through all the Republicans and then settles on Marco Rubio because, number one, he's young and represents generational change, whereas Hillary is old and looks old and behaves old and has been around forever. And the mood of the country is for change, not for more of the same. And secondly, Marco Rubio is obviously Hispanic American. And if he can steal away the Hispanic vote, which is huge in America now, and really critical to any Democrat from Hillary Clinton, she's toast, because she cannot win the nomination. She cannot win the presidency if she doesn't win the Hispanic vote.
Speaking of toast, I can't see her getting out of this this email thing without a very serious legal problem. If she is indicted, if she is tried, if she ends up having to look down the barrel of what David Petraeus had to, which is either probation and a huge fine or something along that line, is she going to have to do any jail time? What do you think the president would do under those circumstances?
Believe it or not, this is incredible, but it's true because I've obviously have sources for this or I wouldn't say it. The president and Valerie Jarrett have literally already talked about the possibility of Barack Obama pardoning Hillary Clinton if she's indicted and found guilty. Wow. Obama, so dislikes her that he's not so sure he wants to do that. But Valerie Jarrett is urging him to do it. Now, whether that will happen or not depends on so many things, but they have discussed it already.
Ed Klein, our guest, he is the author of the brilliant Unlikable, The Problem with Hillary. You've got to buy this book. It's on the required reading list of the Wells Report. Ed, it's a pleasure talking to you. I certainly look forward to your next bit of work and your next conversation on the Wells Report, sir.
Me too, John. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you having me so much. Thank you.
Back with more in just a moment.
We've seen Trump, Rubio, Cruz, and Fiorina. Now it's time to meet the ones that want to take them out. And this time it won't be pretty when the Democrats present their candidates on Tuesday, October 13th. Come join 660 AM The Answer at the Studio Movie Grill in Dallas to watch this horror show in person. Mark Davis and Jon-David Wells will be there to watch your back. See what Hilary, Bernie, and Jim Webb have concocted for this country's future. Tickets are just $10. Available at 660amtheanswer.com.
Sponsored by AAA Auger Plumbing Services. It's Baylor Bears football right here on 660 AM The Answer. Join John Morris and JJ Joe as they bring you every bone-jarring hit and sensational touchdown as the Bears compete for the Big 12 title. Make sure to tune in this Saturday as the Baylor Bears battle the Kansas Jayhawks, with the pregame getting underway at 10:30 a.m. and the kickoff at 11 a.m. Everything can be heard right here on 660 AM The Answer.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head dealing with monthly payments, there's a powerful secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $5,000 in credit card debt, you have the option to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Debt Relief Advocates, and we're offering you free information on how to virtually eliminate your credit card debt and make your monthly payment affordable. To see how much you could save, call now, 1-800-721-8733. Don't declare bankruptcy. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. Debt Relief Advocates. Live better debt-free. Find out how easy it is by calling now. For the secret the credit card companies don't want you to know, call Debt Relief Advocates now and see how much money you could save for free. Call 1-800-721-8733. That's 1-800-721-8733.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jim with Fat Loss DFW, and I want to talk to you man to man. As guys, we're pretty straightforward. We like to call it as we see it. So if you were being honest with yourself, would you call yourself out of shape, fluffy, or maybe just plain fat? Well, do something about it. We can help you lose 20 to 40 pounds in 40 days. No gimmicks, no exercise, no prepackaged meals, and no drugs. It's just an incredible program that's all about helping you lose the fat you've packed on over the years from poor eating habits. It's doctor supervised and customized for your individual body type. Plain and simple. I guarantee you'll feel better, you'll have more energy, and you'll keep the weight off. Call us at 844-801-THIN and become the man you once were, only better. The number to call again is 844-801-THIN or visit fatlossdfw.com and take a look at our free video and book your appointment today. That's fatlossdfw.com.
Business owners, listen up. Give me an I.
Give me an M.
Give me a Z. What's that spell? Incorporation, protection, success. Incorporate your business.
INC.
If you're about to start a business, these 3 little letters can make the difference between making a fortune and losing everything. Because if you're not incorporated and someone sues your business, you can lose it all. Your home, your car, even your life savings. That's why Incorporate.com is now giving away a free incorporation guide to all business owners. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. Protect your home, protect your car, protect your life savings. Call 1-800-616-4933 for your free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy.
Incorporation, protection, success. Incorporate your business.
Call now for your free guide. 1-800-616-4933. That's 1-800-616-4933.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
Just in time for All Hallows Eve. It's the Democrat presidential debate watching party. Come on. Come on, think about this for just a couple of minutes. If you could see the biggest train wreck in the history of modern transportation for $10, wouldn't you get a ticket? Mark Davis and I are going to be there at the Studio Movie Grill at 75 in Spring Valley in Dallas. We're going to be watching what the other side is. I was just going to say that what the other side is thinking, but is there really any thinking involved? Let's find out just exactly how deep the sociopathic socialist mess that they have planned for us is going to be. Join Mark Davis and I at the Studio Movie Grill Tuesday, October 13th. We're going to be there. It costs you $10 to get in. Get your tickets at 660amtheanswer.com. 660amtheanswer.com. $10. You got to go. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun, I guarantee. I know. We're going to have a huge amount of fun. Don't miss it. Get your tickets. 660amtheanswer.com. $10. See the biggest train crash in history. Telling you, man, it'll be the biggest train crash since the last meeting of the Supreme Soviet in the old Soviet Union. Talk about a food fight that was. Boy, I tell you what. Okay. And so, while we're about this, let's talk a little bit about Democrat politics, shall we? What about Joe Biden? What's going to happen with Joe Biden? Is Joe Biden going to run for president? You think he's going to run? If he does run, there's going to be a problem with him running. And that is every single mistake, gaffe, dumb boobery that he has committed in his entire career is going to be paraded in front of us for the sake of destroying his chances to be the president. And I'm not somebody who believes that you should avoid accountability. But do we really want to see crazy old Joe destroyed? Especially in a moment when the only reason he's getting into this race is to try to give the Democrats some kind of credible candidate. That's the only reason he'd get in, right? His son just died. His son just died. I can't imagine brushing my teeth if my son had died. And he's thinking about running for president? I don't think so. But here's what I do think. I think this soulless and gutless Democrat Party may impose a run for president on Joe Biden. And Joe will not have a prayer to win. All it's going to do is once again give give the media a chance to ridicule this man. Now, you may not like him. You may think he's a leftist liberal jerk. I thought what he did to Sarah Palin during their debate was inexcusable and unmanly. I disagree with Joe Biden vehemently from a political standpoint. And I don't know the guy, but I don't think he's a jerk. I think Hillary Clinton is a jerk. You know, I just had I just had a conversation with Ed Klein just a minute ago, and everything that Ed Klein said in his book Unlikable is stuff that I was absolutely sure of. I mean, I've got friends in Washington. They've told me about Hillary Clinton. And terms like hell on wheels and battle axe get thrown around a lot with her name attached to them. Those kinds of words are hard to discuss. They're hard to escape. But most everybody I know talks about Joe Biden as a pretty good guy, darn good senator for the state of Delaware, but prone to making really stupid moves. It's just not a place that Joe Biden needs to be in. And I don't want him to sit down at a debate table with Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton and be somebody who takes a chance at destroying what's left of his political legacy. I just don't want to see that. Now would I stop him? No. If he crashes and burns, will that be good for the country? Yeah, I think it would be. But of all the people to use as cannon fodder in the 2016 political candidate, can't the Democrat Party come up with one other guy? How about Al Gore? Let's get Al Gore out there. How about John Kerry? John Kerry has.
John Kerry.
Yes, I'm John Kerry, and you should be engraving this into granite. Oh, wait. He said Genghis Khan, didn't he? He said Genghis, didn't he? You should be carving this into granite. Jesus. Look, I'm just not interested in seeing Joe Biden destroy himself. And I think that's what's going to happen. Harlan and Maybank, should I care one way or another?
I think Obama is probably a real nice dad to his daughters. And I'll bet he has some pretty nice qualities if you talk to him in person. But his attitude towards life and others' property and the rights of people is evil to the core. And although Joe Biden is probably a great guy to fish with or whatever, I think he carries the same attitudes.
I think that Joe Biden is decidedly liberal, and I think that Joe Biden is a guy whose policies would be bad for the country.
Oh, incredibly so.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with you 100%. And I believe that on that basis, political accountability being what it is, that the voters will hand him the appropriate verdict.
The sad thing is the Republicans won't jump on, they won't exploit the stupidity and the ineptitude of him.
Actually, I think they will. Actually,
well, I hope so. I hope they do.
I think they will, because I think that that's one of the reasons why it's good that Donald Trump is in the race. And I think it's good that Donald Trump has laid the groundwork for taking out Democrat opponents by virtue of his willingness to call it the way he sees it, calling his fellow Republicans losers, one of the demands. I think that what Donald Trump has done with Jeb Bush is good, not just for the country, but Jeb Bush. I think this is good because it takes these politicians out of their politically correct comfort zone. It took Donald Trump about 2 minutes to put everybody in the professional political cast on the defensive. He was perfect at it. Suddenly, politicians who were arguing against Donald Trump looked hopelessly out of step with America. And a lot of them left. And a lot more of them should. And we'll see if they do. But can you imagine Joe Biden in a debate with Donald Trump? Can you imagine that? 866-660-5759. Do we take it easy on crazy old Joe? The answer is no. We don't take it easy on crazy old Joe. But of all the people to destroy, he's the last one, or one of the last ones on that Democrat side, even though I vehemently disagree with his politics. 866-660-5759. Let's welcome to the microphones of the Wells Report the chapter president of the Association of the United States Army, North Texas Audie Murphy chapter, Mr. Richard Canis. Richard, thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Hey, John. Nice to see you tonight. Nice to talk to you.
It's good to have you here, sir. You have got Operation Once in a Lifetime going on. Why don't you tell us about it?
So we've got our Wounded Warrior Golf Classic coming up this Wednesday, and Operation Once in a Lifetime is one of our named charities that we're going to support that day at our event. The other one is the horse therapy program called eQuest. So those two are going to be at our golf tournament.
Well, that's awesome. And the golf tournament is the 2015 AUSA Wounded Warrior Golf Classic, benefiting Operation Once in a Lifetime. That's by the Association of the United States Army, North Texas Audie Murphy chapter. It's happening this Wednesday. Registration is full, so you can't get out and play golf.
That's correct.
Okay, but you can still make donations, right?
Absolutely. We can always make donations.
That is very, very nice. By the way, the golf tournament is at Firewheel Golf Club in Garland, Texas. And by the way, you can also find out more at ausanorthtexas.org. In case you don't know, why don't you tell us what Operation Once in a Lifetime does?
So, they do several different things. So they have several companies that they help support and hire wounded warriors to help do for jobs. They also have a resale shop, sort of like a Goodwill, off of Parker and 75. Basically, same thing. You turn in your stuff, buy it if you want. But if you're a service member, you can get the items at no charge. They'll load it into your truck, your car, whatever, and it's just thanks for your service.
That is so nice.
Yeah, they do a variety of things. They do a lot of I don't want to say Make-A-Wish style stuff, but they do a lot of one-offs that most charities won't do for the military servicemen and women because it's a one-off. It's the guy that's got a car that's going to die and needs new brakes to get to and from the VA hospital for his medical treatment. They'll fix his car. They'll do things like that. And the E2 that's having a baby, he's in Korea, wife's in Dallas, doesn't have money come up. They fly him in, that kind of stuff. So we've been working with Patrick Sowers and his group for several years. Just love the way they do it, and and that's what we try and do is support those charities that are doing the real work, and we become one of the financial backers to them for their causes.
Richard Canis is our guest. He's a colonel, retired of the United States Army, and he is the chapter president of the AUSA, the Association of the United States Army. Tell me a little bit about your organization. Do you have to be a member of the Army to join?
You do not. We've got members, we've got civilians, we've got people who've never served, we've got, current and former military personnel. Our geographic space for our chapter is fairly large. We go from Louisiana to New Mexico and from I-20 up to Oklahoma. So we have a lot of cows and scrub brush, but the vast majority of our population is around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Approximately 1,100 chapter members, and then 60 to 70 corporate members, and we're growing. So we're one of the growing chapters within AUSA Worldwide.
And if people want to know more, they go to ausanorthtexas.org. That's all lowercase, all one word, and you can join and get an early run on Operation Once in a Lifetime. That's and the Wounded Warrior Golf Classic for next year.
That's right.
All right. So the 2015 AUSA Wounded Warrior Golf Classic benefiting Operation Once in a Lifetime, and I'm pretty sure they'll let you out there if you want to be part of the gallery.
Absolutely.
Yeah, at Firewheel Golf Park in Garland, Texas. And Colonel, thanks very much for joining us. Thanks very much for coming by, and thank you very much, of course, for your service.
Everybody have a nice night. Thank you.
You too, sir. A good guy doing a good thing. If you want to know more, go to 660 AM The Answer, the Wells Report page. It's all there waiting for you. More of the Wells Report in just a moment. Hey, I want to tell you something. The $100 million has been given to, unfortunately, not the Operation Once in a Lifetime. It's been given to liberal political candidates and liberal causes at local, state, and national levels. That's right. And who has given away this $100 million? Your cell phone company. That's right. Would you like to do something about that? Would you like to change the paradigm a touch? Well, may I suggest EOS Mobile? EOS Mobile is the only mobile company that pledges to support conservative causes, groups, and candidates. 5% of everything they earn goes to those groups and candidates and causes. And I think you ought to be a part of that instead of a part of the liberal nightmare that's enveloping the United States. Dreadful partisanship there, but reality is reality. EOS Mobile has coast-to-coast high-speed data and crystal clear voice coverage, plus a wide selection of all your favorite smartphone devices. EOS Mobile plans are, on average, 10 to 15% lower in price than the big guys for the same package of phone, data, text, and talk. Same quality, better price, better causes. Contact EOS Mobile. EOS Mobile for more details at eossell.com. That's eossell.com, eossell.com. Do that right this very minute and tell them that Jon-David Wells from the Wells Report told you to come by, and they'll do something extra special for you.
Truth spoken here. More of which is next. The Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. You could say my friend Josh DeShong is a confident realtor, and why not? His sales numbers are huge. He sold our house, so we'll love him forever. But he wants you to know he is so sure that he can sell your house. He'll sit down with you, agree on a price and a time frame. If it doesn't happen, he buys your house, and you can walk away at any time.
If you hire us and after 2 hours you're unhappy or we're not living up to your expectations, you can terminate without penalty. You don't owe me a dime. You can say, hey, Josh, you're fired. Get your sign and leave. Doesn't ever happen, but you can do it if you'd like to.
That's what I was going to say. I'm guessing these are not conversations you have often. The conversations you usually have are, hey, Josh, thank you for selling my house. Kind of like the conversation you and I had.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Make a decision to get serious about selling your home. Do it today. He did it for me. He can do it for you. 972-325-6644 or getsold.net. 972-325-6644 or getsold.net.
How much of your life are you losing because of pain? I'm Dr. Chad Glines, DC at Genesis Back and Neck, and I really do want to give you your life back.
My name is Russell, and I have scoliosis. I didn't realize that spinal decompression could help someone like me, but I heard the commercial for Dr. Chad, and I thought, why not? We sat down and talked, and today there's improvement, which is pretty amazing because the whole process is really easy. Dr. Chad's staff was very welcoming. They made the process seamless. They made me feel so comfortable. Having scoliosis I didn't realize that spinal decompression was an option for me, but I'm so glad today that I heard the commercial and I did something about it. So if you're hurting, you should call Dr. Chad.
That just blesses me to hear that. At Genesis, we accept most major insurances, and your first visit will be at no charge. Call me. 817-328-1922. That's 817-328-1922 or online at genesisback.com.
Babylon is on the rise. Every day our culture moves away from absolute truth, becoming a godless culture. Christians must be prepared to live out their faith. In Dr. David Jeremiah's book, Agents of Babylon, you will get an in-depth revelation of the characters and prophecies in the book of Daniel. Learn how to be like Daniel as Babylon is on the rise. Get your copy of Agents of Babylon in bookstores. Learn more at agentsofbabylon.com.
I spend my days helping others. It's rewarding, just not always financially. So I got TIAA-CREF. They were founded to help people like me meet our financial goals. They've got so many industry accolades, it's unreal. I like taking care of people. Sometimes that even includes myself.
Intelligent investing for the long term. Just what you'd expect from a company that's created to serve and built to perform. Visit TIAA.org. TIAA-CREF Individual and Institutional Services, LLC. This testimonial is an act of betrayal. Investing involves risk. Individual results will vary.
Hi, I'm Larry Patterson, owner of Glass Doctor. In our disposable society, we're conditioned to throw out the whole thing when just one part goes bad, like when the insulated glass windows in your home get condensation between the panes. You don't need to replace the whole window. The specialists at Glass Doctor can install new insulated glass in your existing frames with a lifetime warranty for a lot less than you might think. To see how quick and easy it is, visit glassdoctor.com today. That's glassdoctor.com.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your paint. Oh, yeah.
I just sneaked into my kids' rooms and took temperatures while they're sleeping, thanks to my Exergen thermometer. All I did was swipe their foreheads for a few seconds. It didn't even wake them up. My sister, the nurse, told us about the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer, and it's the best. Real value for the money and truly a lifesaver. Now I don't have to deal with ears or rears, if you know what I mean.
I'm Dr. Frank Pompey, founder of Exergen. Thousands of hospitals and clinics rely on temporal scanners. I'm confident you will too.
The Exergen temporal scanner. Pick one up at Costco and other fine retailers, or visit us at Exergen.com.
660 AM, The Answer. You're hearing tomorrow's front page on the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. You're not going to believe this, but President Obama is seriously weighing a plan to keep as many as 5,000 U.S. troops in Afghanistan beyond 2016. Isn't that strange? Why would he do something like that? I mean, really? Yeah. Apparently, U.S. officials are reporting that he's going to leave like as many as 5,000 U.S. troops in Afghanistan beyond 2016. That is a further setback of his goal to end U.S. military involvement there before he leaves office. But then again, if we leave those 5,000 troops there, we may actually not have another 9/11 attack sometime in the future. Yeah. The plan, by the way, was presented in August by General Martin Dempsey, then chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. It would focus primarily on counterterrorism operation against the Islamic State, Al-Qaeda, and other direct threats to the United States. You know what that means, right? That means it's only 10,000 troops fewer than it should be. What do you know? The president has a learning curve after all. Maybe. This is the Wells Report.
The only Boat Talk radio show in town is right here on 660 AM The Answer. Hi, everyone. Dennis Gibbs, the boat guy here. Live every Saturday at 6 p.m. The Big Boat and Outdoor Show has great advice on how to maintain your boat the right way. Lake Level Ginger's Lake Report keeps you informed, and our special guest has you entertained. It's all about having fun on the water. The Big Boat and Outdoor Show, brought to you by BoatSelect.com, the site where thousands of boats are for sale.
Hey, everybody, Mark Davis from my friends at Good Feet, America's #1 arch support. And that invites the question, who needs arch support? Answer is more people than you think. Do your feet hurt at the end of a day? That's not just the way life is supposed to be. You should have arch support where your feet feel great even at the end of a long day of walking. If your feet hurt at the beginning of the day, man, you got all kinds of issues, and they can be helped. You can get out of pain with arch support. It could be structural misalignment, plantar fasciitis, kind of a foot alignment, supination, overpronation, all these technical things that they know about at Good Feet. And what you'll know is you can walk in pain. You can limp in and walk out pain-free. This happens with so many people. I want to send everybody to goodfeetdfw.com, goodfeetdfw.com, Plano, Fort Worth, South Lake. Absolutely fantastic people. No shots, no medicine, no surgery, just relief from pain. So get out of pain today. 888-660-0942. 888-660-0942 or goodfeetdfw.com. That's goodfeetdfw.com.
Let's make an offer on that Aspen Street house.
That one doesn't have a home warranty.
Is that a problem?
Not if you like paying through the nose on home system breakdowns.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like if the air conditioner quits, want to pay for a new one? Do you know how to fix the water heater, the plumbing?
Got it. Let's only look at places with home warranties.
A home warranty from American Home Shield protects homeowners against unexpected covered repairs and breakdowns of major home systems and appliances. Who would want to move into a new home without one? Just ask your local real estate professional, or for complimentary helpful information about a home warranty from American Home Shield, call now at 1-800-720-9522. Service requests are subject to a fee for each trade call. Some exclusions and limitations apply. An American Home Shield home warranty instantly gives home buyers confidence in their purchase. For complimentary helpful information, including terms, rates, and coverage, call 1-800-720-9522. 1-800-720-9522.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. Mandatory evacuations continuing in Columbia, South Carolina, where heavy rain and record floodwaters have killed 10 and knocked out power and water to tens of thousands.
As far as the dangers go, one of the main ones is on the road. We've seen flooding of more than 300 roads, 150 bridges, and not just flooding. We've seen some roads eroded as well, partially eroded with sinkholes or entirely washed away.
Fox's Steve Harrigan, too, have been killed in North Carolina. In Dallas, a vehicle and a lumber-carrying tractor-trailer collide on an overpass. The truck's fuel tanks exploded. A fire erupted. 4 are dead. The 4-week-old NFL season sees its first coaching casualty.
The Miami Dolphins have fired head coach Joe Philbin. A 27-14 loss to the Jets on Sunday, dropping Miami to just 1-3 on the season. Tight ends coach Dan Campbell takes over for now.
Fox Radio's Chris Honig. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer. Just in time for Halloween. 660 AM, The Answer presents the Democratic Debate. And you can watch it live with your friends at the Studio Movie Grill in Dallas. Come out and join Mark Davis and Jon-David Wells. This one just might scare your socks off as we gather to see what we're up against next November, Tuesday, October 13th at the Studio Movie Grill in Dallas. Tickets are just $10. Available at 660amtheanswer.com.
Sponsored by AAA Auger Plumbing Services. What would you do if you could speak Spanish? Have a barbecue with the Spanish-speaking family next door?
Hola, ¿qué tal? Sí.
Swap stories with locals on a Costa Rican rainforest safari?
Mira, es maravilloso.
Order your favorite Tex-Mex in Spanish?
Quisiera un burrito de carne, por favor.
Once-in-a-lifetime adventures to everyday moments. If you've always wanted to learn Spanish, to have real conversations with native speakers, now you can. Because Rosetta Stone is letting everyone who calls try an absolutely free demo of its powerful language learning program. Call now, 1-800-500-3022. Fully immersing you in the Spanish language, Rosetta Stone is fast, fun, and easy. Learn on your computer or iPad. Practice on the go with your smartphone at your own pace and at your own convenience. If you've always wanted to speak Spanish, this is your chance with the fastest, easiest way to learn a language guaranteed. But don't wait. Call Rosetta Stone now for your free demo. 1-800-500-3022. That's 1-800-500-3022.
Hey, I have rhythm. I love to dance, and I've been told that I dance pretty well. But I'm also totally blind, which means that sometimes my circadian rhythms can get totally out of step with the world around me. Circadian rhythms are regulated by our internal master body clock. But because I can't perceive light, my body clock simply doesn't know what time it is. This can have me wide awake in the middle of the night and fighting to stay awake during the day. That can affect relationships and make it difficult to be productive at work. And it can make every day a real challenge. It's not my imagination. It's called non-24, and it affects up to 70% of people who are totally blind. So if you're like me, you're not alone, and there is hope.
Call 855-856-2424 today or visit learnmorenon24.com to find out more about Non-24. Because learning more about Non-24 is the first step to getting your rhythm back.
Sponsored by Vanda Pharmaceuticals.
Have you put off seeing the dentist because you can't afford to go? Are big dental bills taking a big toll on your wallet? Would you like to have dental insurance but think it's too expensive? If you answered yes to any of these questions, call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company for a free information kit. See how you can help protect your teeth and your wallet for less than $1 a day. 1-800-944-2955. This is real dental insurance that can help cover over 300 procedures, all the ones you're most likely to need. Everything from cleanings and fillings to crowns and dentures. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. You can see any dentist you choose and you'll never pay a deductible. Call in the next 10 minutes and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-944-2955. That's 1-800-944-2955. 1-800-944-2955.
This plan is not insurance and does not meet minimum credible coverage requirements under the Affordable Care Act. This discount card program contains a 30-day cancellation and refund period. Administrator New Benefits Limited, Dallas, Texas, not available in all states.
Are your medical expenses and insurance costs out of control? There's a way to pay less for the healthcare you need. RealMedSavings.com. It's a membership like a club that lets you access huge networks of medical professionals for a whole lot less money. Real Med Savings even connects you with a board-certified physician anytime, 24 hours a day. The doctor will consult with you, diagnose the condition, and when necessary, call in the prescription. You pay nothing for the doctor's consultation because you're a member. You save money because we've already negotiated discounts on dental, vision, prescription drugs, and much more. Just go to RealMedSavings.com and learn all about it. Real Med Savings is not insurance. You just save real money on your health care for you and your whole family, and it costs less than $1 a day for the whole family. No salesperson will call, and there is no long-term commitment. Convenient money-saving health care. RealMedSavings.com.
Babylon is on the rise. Every day, our culture moves away from absolute truth, becoming a godless culture. Christians must be prepared to live out their faith. In Dr. David Jeremiah's book, Agents of Babylon, you will get an in-depth revelation of the characters and prophecies in the book of Daniel. Learn how to be like Daniel as Babylon is on the rise. Get your copy of Agents of Babylon in bookstores. Learn more at agentsofbabylon.com.
You want to feel connected, informed, included, inspired. So when important things happen, we're here. Your local radio and TV broadcasters. America's #1 source for news, weather, and information on your radio, TV, computer, tablet, and smartphone. We are broadcasters, always here for you, wherever here may be. Tell Washington local stations matter by texting radio to 52886. Furnished by NAB and the station. Message and data rates may apply. If you've got questions, we've got answers. 660 AM. The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. I am hoping that my fellow Americans, my fellow citizens, my neighbors, I'm hoping that my neighbors realize the need to change politics in the United States of America. Not just for the sake of political convenience or political victory or bragging rights or whatever else you want to call it, but for the sake of the nation moving forward, as opposed to moving sideways, mostly to the left, into a socialist minefield that will take decades, if not generations, for us to escape. What I'm referring to, of course, is the Supreme Court of the United States. If you are a Democrat, and I'm talking about a real Democrat, not somebody pretending, not a socialist or a progressive pretending to be a Democrat, I want you to realize that the salvation of this country as we know it rests with what I would have to characterize as Republican choices for the Supreme Court of the United States, depending, of course, on who gets elected as president from the Republican Party of the United States. I am not sure, to be perfectly frank, I am not sure that all Republican candidates would be any better than Democrat candidates in picking Supreme Court justices. But I know that the chances are better if Republicans pick the next group of Supreme Court justices, and that could number as many as 3. Although I have to be perfectly honest with you, I'm reasonably sure that there will be a couple of members of the liberal wing of the party that will probably retire before President Obama leaves office. But as we come to this conversation tonight, we have a couple of articles here that I want to pay attention to, and I want you to pay attention to them as well. One's by Ariane DeVogue. She is the CNN Supreme Court reporter. The article is called, "Is the Supreme Court Poised for a Shift to the Right?" And on the front of it, in this picture, a pleasant picture of Justice Stephen Breyer. The 9 Supreme Court justices will emerge today from behind a long red velvet curtain and take their assigned seats on the bench to begin a new term. But most people will still be thinking of the historic nature of the cases decided last term, and the fact that for the first time the left side of the Roberts Court won more 5-4 cases than the right. Was it a blip, or has the Supreme Court gone liberal? Judicial conservatives, some Republican presidential candidates, feel abandoned by Chief Justice John Roberts for his vote once again in favor of the Affordable Care Act, despite the fact that he dissented in other cases they care about concerning issues like gay marriage and housing discrimination. During last month's Republican presidential debate, Ted Cruz, who like Roberts served as a law clerk to the late Chief Justice William Rehnquist, suggested that Roberts' record was comparable of that to retired Justice David Souter. In conservative legal circles, Souter's nomination by George H.W. Bush was a disaster because of the practically unknown nominee ultimately ending up voting on a consistent basis with the court's more liberal wing. Cruz and others still blame the elder Bush for throwing away a precious chance to shape the court. Souter retired in 2009 after 19 years on the bench, giving President Barack Obama his first chance to nominate a justice. Liberals, however, dismiss any such notion. The Roberts Court has veered to the left. Elizabeth Widra of the Constitutional Accountability Center says the claim that Chief Justice Roberts is liberal is preposterous. This from a group that takes many of the hot-button cases before the court from a progressive standpoint. To be sure, he deserves credit for rejecting the legally meritless claims against the Affordable Care Act, but if you look at his 10 years on the court, he has unquestionably moved the law in a conservative direction. Liberals are still stung by Roberts' opinion that invalidated a key section of the Voting Rights Act, as well as his vote in landmark cases concerning campaign finance and gun rights. Indeed, any conservative furor might die down this term as the court takes up affirmative action, voting rights, public sector unions, and possibly abortion. Roberts' votes on those cases are expected to soothe some of his conservative critics. I wonder. Irving Gornstein, executive director of the Supreme Court Institute at Georgetown University Law Center, says, "We should expect a return to the norm in which the right side of the court wins the majority, but by no means all of the big cases. With Justice Anthony Kennedy, again, the key vote in most of those. As recent years have proved, there is no reliable means for predicting
How the court will rule. Several of the most high-profile cases this term offered justices a choice between ruling on broad or narrow grounds. Affirmative action. The court is slated once again to hear a challenge to a race-conscious admissions plan of the University of Texas. Abigail Fisher was denied admission to the school back in 2008 and sued, claiming discrimination based on race. In Texas, high school seniors who graduate in the top 10% of their class are automatically admitted to any Texas state university. In addition to the top 10% program, the school also considers race and other factors for admission. Since Fisher did not qualify for the program, she applied with other applicants, some of whom were entitled to racial preference. Fisher, who is white, was denied admission. It's going to be an interesting case. Another case targets the issue of one person, one vote, a doctrine dating back to the Earl Warren Court, when the Supreme Court held that state legislative districts must be drawn so they are equal in population. But the court never explicitly defined population. How does it refer to the general population, or to the population that can vote, or something in between? That is the crux of Everwell or Evanwell versus Abbott. Currently, most of the states look to the total population of the district when drawing state lines, but challengers in this case argue that Texas must primarily look at the total number of eligible voters in the state. Sue Evanwell, a resident of Titus County, and others agree that their vote is worth less than people in neighboring districts because those districts have fewer residents who are eligible to vote. In court briefs, Evanwell's lawyers say the Texas legislature redrew the Senate map without attempting to ensure that each Senate district has approximately the same number of eligible voters. The case has political implications. It raises questions not only about the representation of children and persons with felony convictions, but also immigrants. This is one that I'm going to be paying very close attention to. Public sector unions. The court is reviewing a case that could be important to the future of public sector unions. In 1977, the court ruled the First Amendment allows public sector unions to require non-member employees to pay union fees for expenses related to workplace bargaining, such as wage disputes and contract negotiations. The employees don't, however, have to pay fees for anything considered to be ideological advocacy. Justice Samuel Alito and other conservatives on the court have questioned that court precedent. It could be vulnerable this term in a case called Fredericks versus California Teachers Association. Rebecca Fredericks and other public school teachers filed suit arguing the supposed distinction between collective bargaining and ideological advocacy is blurred. They contend that the fee for collective bargaining speech is in fact an advance of political viewpoints of the district. We'll see. I don't believe we need public sector unions. I think they cost us an unbelievable amount of money that we can't afford. And then this case, the abortion contraceptive mandate. The real story of this term has yet to be written and could come from a case that are on their way, or cases that are on their way to the court, said Stephen I. Vladeck of the American University Washington College of Law and a CNN contributor. Two of the most likely cases that might come up concern abortion and the Affordable Care Act's contraceptive mandate. The court has not heard an abortion case since 2007 and might take up a challenge that goes straight to court precedent, testing what makes up an undue burden for a woman seeking an abortion. At issues are two aspects of abortion law in Texas. Federal Appeals Court upholds provision of the Texas abortion law. That's what takes the course to the case to the Supreme Court. One provision requires doctors who perform abortions have admitting privileges at a nearby hospital. The other mandate is that clinics upgrade their facilities to hospital-like standards. Texas says the aim of the law is to protect women's health. Abortion providers who are challenging the law say the real Texas aim is not to protect women's health, but to close clinics. I don't know if you're going to do that kind of a procedure. You ought to have hospital-like setting, don't you think? There's that. There are all of those things. And once again, these decisions, because of the fact that we in the United States of America are better informed than at any other time in the history of the Republic. These will roil us again. We watch these very, very closely because we have to. These are incredibly important decisions that we're making here. And there are incredible, important decisions that are going to be made in the near future. And I'll be perfectly honest with you. We can't allow this court to descend to politics. This must be a court that arbitrates, not legislates. Now, I realize that there has to be a final word. I realize that if there is going to be something apolitical in the United States, that should be the judicial branch of our government. But between liberal and conservative judge shopping throughout every judicial district in the country, and the willingness of the Supreme Court to simply legislate from the bench, we are in danger of a political judiciary, and that is exactly what we don't need. This is the Wells Report.
The Mark Davis Show. Mark Davis Show.
On our Tuesday show, dreams of victory. Republicans dream of winning back the White House. The Rangers dream of a World Series. The Cowboys dream of winning another game. And Jason Chaffetz dreams of edging out Kevin McCarthy for Speaker of the House. So which of these is likely? Plus, of course, all the overnight news we need to cover and random thoughts from you and me make it all special. Join us for a Tuesday.
The Mark Davis Show. Weekday mornings at 7, right before Mike Gallagher at 10 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
The calendar says October, so surely our air conditioning needs are done, right? Where do you think we live? Canada? It's Texas. We have plenty of AC days left. So if your AC is not working, call my company, 972-4-WALKER, WalkerAC.com. It's Walker Air Conditioning. Soon enough, we'll get you set for heating, but we're not done with AC yet. So if yours is on the fritz and you're looking for reliable service people who are going to come in, fix the problem, not try to upsell you, it's Walker AC. 52 years in the business, 50% off diagnostic fees right now. They're family-owned, loyal company, looking for quality customers. I love them. You will too. It's Walker AC, WalkerAC.com. or 972-4-WALKER, the number 972, the number 4, and Walker. 0% interest up till 2020 on select systems or up to $1,100 rebate. They're totally your headquarters if you need a new system, but if you don't, you don't, and they'll just fix it. Get out and you'll say thank you. You'll thank me for getting you hooked up with WalkerAC.com, 972-4-WALKER, or WalkerAC.com.
This is Dan Tullis, and I just called Joel Clark, one of Select Quote Insurance Services' term life agents. Hi, Mr. Tullis. Joel, how does Select Quote save you money on term life insurance?
Well, buying term life insurance is all about choosing the right company. Let's say you take antidepressants or you smoke. All insurance companies are going to price that differently. We'll impartially shop all the companies we represent to find you the best price.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. I just got a man, 40 years old, on cholesterol medication, a $500,000 policy with a highly rated insurance company. His price, under $25 a month.
Call 1-800-977-3397 and see how affordable term life insurance can be. That's 1-800-977-3397. 1-800-977-3397. Or go to selectquote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Hey, North Texas. Sean Hannity here, and I want to talk to you about rent estate. Now, what do I mean by rent estate? Well, Renting your house is an option that you might not have considered, but think about all the great benefits. Instead of a one-and-done payment, well, renting your home delivers monthly cash flow, and someone else pays your mortgage for you while you keep your house and you get the big tax benefits. But to make Rent Estate really work, well, you need the experts at Renters Warehouse. Now, these guys exist for one reason and one reason only, to make renting your home as easy as possible. Now, they've got Rent Estate down to a science. They're going to find you quality tenants. They'll handle the pesky paperwork, even take those 3 a.m. phone calls about a leaky toilet. So get a piece of the Rent Estate action today. Just go to renterswarehouse.com right now, renterswarehouse.com, or call 972-600-2550. And Renters Warehouse is the professional landlords of Rent Estate.
You may think being totally blind is the greatest challenge I face, but actually, it's the fact that I'm often wide awake at 3 a.m. and struggling to stay awake in the middle of the day. This is called Non-24, and it affects up to 70% of people who are totally blind, like me. It makes just getting through the day a real struggle. Learn more about Non-24 by calling 855-856-2424 or visiting learnmorenon24.com.
Sponsored by Vanda Pharmaceuticals.
If you haven't seen Lumber Liquidators' incredible fall flooring deals, now is the time. It's the final days to save as much as 45% or more on all the latest hardwood trends. And it's your last chance to get $1 off select styles of premium Bellawood. Save 20% on stylish wood look tile and get coupon savings on quality Dream Home laminate with pad included. Plus, more deals from 59 cents and 15-month special financing.
This is Kai Pence. Go to lumberliquidators.com/sweepstakes for a chance to win $4,000 in flooring from Lumber Liquidators.
Sales going on now. Visit lumberliquidators.com to find a store near you.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Isn't thinking so much more fun than being yelled at? The Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer.
So what do you suppose is really on their minds? We will have a chance to find out. Tuesday, October 13th, Studio Movie Grill, 75 in Spring Valley in Texas. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Democrat presidential debate watching party. Let's go find out what's on their mind. Okay? Something tells me that if you really listen to what they have to say, since I have to, you're going to feel a lot better about the 2016 political election than if you don't go. It's clearly worth $10 to feel better about everything. Get your tickets at 660amtheanswer.com. They're on sale right now. Mark Davis and I will be with you taking questions, watching the debate together. It'll be a great time, and where else can you see the world's biggest train crash for $10? I'm telling you. Let's go, okay? Cool deal. 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. In the Federalist, Alexander Hamilton predicted that the courts would be considered as the bulwarks of a limited constitution against legislative encroachment. Unfortunately, that is not what happened, or that is not what is happening. I am sure that the founders would be uncomfortable with the fact that courts' docketed decisions are increasingly seen as one more dimension of a never-ending election cycle. This is what Richard Garrett says, or Richard Garnett says, in FoxNews.com, the politicization of the Supreme Court. All of these things would have surprised, all these cases, like, for example, the dispute between Florida and Georgia about the waters of the Apalachicola, Chattanooga, Flint River Basin. Precisely the kind of problem the Supreme Court was created to resolve, but one suspects in this case won't dominate the headlines. This would have surprised and maybe troubled the founding generation. It's not that they expected the court to be a marginal spectator, far from it. Alexander Hamilton famously predicted the court should be considered as the bulwarks of a limited constitution against legislative encroachments. Still, it's fair to say that they would be uncomfortable with the fact that we are mired in politics. The court's membership, not just this argument schedule, is going to be a major topic of political conversation, debate, and advertising in coming months. After a fairly major shakeup in the roster between 2005 and 2010, the court's lineup has been stable since Justice Elena Kagan joined 5 years ago. But she is clearly a politician, and her judicial record proves it. Justice Ginsburg is now 82 years old. Scalia is 79. So is Justice Kennedy. It's true, the media tends to focus on 5-4 rulings and ignore the more common cases where the justices are unanimous. Still, when it comes to hot-button issues, the justices are sharply and narrowly divided as they've ever been. There's no doubt about the reality, in fact, that the Chinese got it right when this unbelievable curse of living in interesting times pretty much sets the pace for life for all of us in these great states. This is the Wells Report.
Hey, everybody, Mark Davis for my friends at Viascan of Las Colinas. You ever hear seeing is believing? It's true. You know what else seeing can be? The difference between life and death. Seeing heart plaques and blockages so that you can know that you might be about to have a heart attack. Seeing the beginnings of cancer festering in some of your internal organs, finding it before it gets so big that it's inoperable. This is affordable preventive health care at Viascan of Las Colinas. This is what they've done for a decade and a half. John Duncan and the crew, they've done it for me. They can do it for you. 972-739-2840. Call them, make an appointment, and know what's going on. See what's going on inside your heart, inside various other organs. 972-739-2840. Bunches of specials, making it even more affordable. I love these folks, and you'll love them too when maybe, just maybe, they save your life. Seeing is believing. So see what's going on inside your heart, inside other vital organs at Viascan of Las Colinas. 972-739-2840 or 123bodyscan.com.
Check, please. No, I got it. That's the second time this week. And you got a new smartphone? Did you get a raise?
Nope, I got a refi on my car loan with EECU Credit Union.
Can I get one too?
Sure, just call 800-849-9977. They'll beat your current APR by 2% and lower your payment.
2%? Heck, with that kind of money, I could buy lunch for you and get that new 50-inch TV.
Yeah, I was paying 4% APR and they took me down to 2% APR. Plus, I got up to 90 days to make my first payment.
But you're not a teacher.
You don't have to be a teacher to refinance your car loan with EECU. Just call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660. Tell them your current APR, and as long as you've had your loan at least 90 days, they'll beat it by 2%.
Can't beat that.
But you got to move fast. It's a limited time offer in celebration of their new Alliance Town Center branch. So call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660.
Subject to credit approval. Floor rate is 2.00 annual percentage rate. Membership required. Not valid with loans currently financed with the ECU. Additional terms and conditions apply. Call 800-849-9977 for details.
Are you a business owner who's jealous of some of the great commercials you hear right here on 660 AM The Answer? Do you feel a little left out when a clever commercial plays and you wish it was about you instead? Nothing's worse than hearing a catchy commercial from a competitor who is raking in new customers each day while you still aren't advertising on the radio. It's not too late. I can still help you. My name is Brad Ballard, and I work here at 660 AM The Answer. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and I can turn you into the company everyone wants to work with. That's 214-561-9116. It's much more affordable than you might think. Don't let another competitor pass you by. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and we'll get you on the radio right away. I'll meet with you personally to brainstorm the best message possible that will rise above the rest. It's time to grow your business and sound like one of the big boys. So don't wait. Call me at 214-561-9116.
Do you want to change the lives of children in our community? If so, join us at the Nancy Lieberman Charity Celebrity Golf Tournament Tuesday, October 13th at Prestonwood Country Club in Plano. Join us for a day of friends, fun, and golf as we raise money for children here in the Metroplex. If you want to chip in and play or sponsor, call 972-473-2121 or go to NancyLiebermanCharities.org. Thanks to all our sponsors, and I'm looking forward to a great day on the links.
Babylon is on the rise. Every day, our culture moves away from absolute truth, becoming a godless culture. Christians must be prepared to live out their faith. In Dr. David Jeremiah's book, Agents of Babylon, you will get an in-depth revelation of the characters and prophecies in the book of Daniel. Learn how to be like Daniel as Babylon is on the rise. Get your copy of Agents of Babylon in bookstores. Learn more at agentsofbabylon.com.
Hey, it's Flo, and this is my impression of a home inspector who needs friends. Yeah, so these studs need to be 1/4 inch further apart, give or take 1/2 inch. It's got to be just right, you know, like the coverage Progressive provides for your construction business. Otherwise, I'll have to shut you guys down. But if I do, maybe you could come out for Tuesday trivia. Fair warning, I'm kind of a know-it-all. You'll see what I mean at board game night. Hey, what's your number?
Commercial insurance that's perfect for your small business. Visit progressivecommercial.com to learn more. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
When you're running your own business, you're bound to be busy. Too busy. Too busy worrying about your budget. Too busy scheduling appointments. Too busy to build a website for your business. And because you're too busy, it has to be easy. And that's where Wix.com comes in. With Wix.com, it's easy for you to create your stunning website. Go to Wix.com and create your website today. It's easy and free. That's Wix.com.
You can listen on the go. Find us on iHeartRadio, 660 AM. The Answer. Now, the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. I try to watch every single day. I try to watch Shepard Smith reporting. Okay? And why do I watch Shepard Smith reporting? It's at 2:00 in Central Time. And the reason I watch it is because I am pretty sure that Shep's politics are much to the left of mine. But you know what Shep does? Shep reports the news. And he does it brilliantly. Does he interweave news reporting and personal opinion? Yes, he does it beautifully. Do you know the difference? You do. And while I think that Shep is a Democrat, and if not necessarily a liberal close to being one, he is fair. And when he reported the story that I'm about to tell you about, he was absolutely infuriated. And you know why? Because he should have been. Ben Bernanke, the former chair of the Federal Reserve Bank, the mastermind behind the massive bank bailout in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis, says he now believes more Wall Street executives should have been held accountable for their roles leading up to the crisis. You think? Now, normally we don't do this. Normally what I do is I try to turn things like this over to the world's greatest executive producer of any radio broadcast anywhere, that being Vicky Stifer. And no, you can't steal her. But I'm going to tell you something plainly. While I want to talk to Ben Bernanke about this, what I want to do more than anything is report this story. Because this is yet another another case of the power elite covering their incredibly guilty butts. So Bernanke, the catbird seat on the biggest bit of financial legerdemain and malfeasance probably in the history of the Republic, or at least since there has been a Federal Reserve Bank, now says the Wall Street executives should have been held accountable All the major Wall Street firms, JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, while they have agreed to pay fines now totaling in the hundreds of billions of dollars stemming from widespread fraud, not a single top Wall Street executive has been charged as a criminal. Bernanke says that was an oversight now. And why does he say that now? Why is Ben Bernanke saying that now? I'll tell you in a minute. It would have been my preference to have more investigation of individual actions, since obviously everything that went wrong or was illegal was done by individuals, not some abstract firm. And so in that respect, I think there should have been more accountability at the individual level. Then why wasn't there, Ben Bernanke, Mr. Chairman of the Fed? Why wasn't there? Because you were covering their butts, Mr. Chairman. And all this book, The Courage to Act, is more of that misdirection and legerdemain. That's what this is. And it's completely and totally stupid. Completely and totally stupid that you would come out with this farcical book so badly mistitled, The Courage to Act My Butt. Should have nailed those guys to the wall. But you didn't, did you? Bernanke stressed the Fed is not a law enforcement agency, suggesting his job was to make sure the U.S. economy didn't fall off a cliff. His unprecedented interventionist policies, 0% interest rates, and the Fed's massive bond purchases are widely credited with helping save the economy, not just of the United States, but the entire world. This man with that idea did something completely brilliant. There's no doubt about it. I will tell you this: if you don't understand how that whole thing worked, if you don't understand, it's not because he did something wrong or tried to swindle us or what have you. It's because you don't know enough about the Fed yet. That's not a put down. But Ben Bernanke, through all of this, saved the world economy. And with that, the United States economy. There's no doubt about it. As a matter of fact, the greatest bankers in the world work at the Fed. One of them being Richard Fisher, a listener of this broadcast. Who actually told me at one time that I had pretty much gotten American money figured out. And he was impressed. By the way, he did retire last year. But I have never had a more riveting interview with anybody than that man. When I asked him why he wanted to be the chairman of the Dallas Fed, he said, because I wanted to do something good for my country. I wanted to do my part for this great republic. And he did. So when I sit here and I rant about Ben Bernanke, you have to keep something in mind. It took an unbelievably huge set of guts to do what he did. The only thing that he was absolutely sure of was that if he had followed in the footsteps of his forebears and that what they did in 1929 and gone to tighten money policy and be more careful with who got credit and who didn't, we would have been propelled into a massive economic depression. But that's not what happened. And it's because of Ben Bernanke. But while he was there and knew everything about everything that happened in 2008, he should have been more vocal with the people who actually made it happen. And that he didn't was damaging to both the power elite of the right and of the left and of the republic. So, Jon-David, tell us why he didn't tell us that we should have pursued more individual accountability until now. Well, because now the statute of limitations has expired. The Fed is not a law enforcement agency, Bernanke says. The Department of Justice and others are responsible for that, and a lot of their effort has been to indict or threaten to indict financial firms. Now, a financial firm is, of course, a legal fiction. It's not a person. You can't put a financial firm in jail. Well, no kidding, Mr. Chairman. But have you heard the old saw that in order for evil to flourish, all good men need to do is stand and not do anything? And for those people that have listened to the left yell and scream about 2008 and how that was a Republican show and a Republican abuse of lax enforcement, and who knows, maybe a little bit of engineering for the sake of their political buddies. When the left actually came out and said all that, it was because it was true. That is a fact. These big capitalists, these guys who decided that all of this was perfectly on the up and up, it took down a couple of these big Wall Street accounting firms, you know. Because what they did was they took part in this big conspiracy over these ridiculous Wall Street real estate derivatives. The packaging of sketchy mortgages with solid mortgages and the taint running through all of the derivatives led to the fact that somebody in France said, you know what, this isn't an investment. This is a justification. This is a justification of bad money policy, born of politics, forced through the American economy for the sake of buying boats. That's all this was. And it damn near took down the entire world's economy. And nobody that actually deserves to be in jail is in jail at this moment. And that is just a huge, huge miscarriage of justice. Now, you've heard me defend the Fed a lot of times on this broadcast. And you know why? Because it is one of the greatest achievements of human beings, let alone Americans. And you have heard me defend Ben Bernanke as maybe one of the most brilliant money men in the history of the art form. And it is, by the way, an art. And while I'm sure of everything that I'm saying, I'm sure of it. I am sure that I'm equally sure that I'm missing some things that the Board of Governors of the Dallas Fed know intimately and very, very well. And that they are on damaged grounds, just like the rest of us. And it's because Ben Bernanke did not act when he should have, which is nail these SOBs to the wall. So he has a book, does he? He is a human being. He says, every time I see a bumper sticker that says, "Where's my bailout?" it hurts me. Yeah. Yeah. It should hurt you. The point of the matter is that the bailout that we got was the bailout of everybody that had the excuse to destroy you financially had no excuse to destroy you financially after Ben Bernanke acted. That was your benefit in very real terms, by virtue of the fact that we are not mired in a depression to this very day. The reason that you're doing okay, except that you've had to deal without a raise for a few years, that is your payment. And that comes from Ben Bernanke. Do I have major issues with him? You bet I do. But did he save the world economically? Yes, he did. This is the Wells Report.
Dennis Prager explains what's wrong with liberal thinking.
So Raul Castro, the dictator, got up and he said, we have to pay reparations to Cuba. This is the scenario as painted by the world's left. The problems of Cuba emanate from the American boycott, not from the totalitarian communist regime.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at noon, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on 660 AM. The Answer.
It's Baylor Bears football right here on 660 AM The Answer. Join John Morris and JJ Joe as they bring you every bone-jarring hit and sensational touchdown as the Bears compete for the Big 12 title. Make sure to tune in this Saturday as the Baylor Bears battle the Kansas Jayhawks, with the pregame getting underway at 10:30 a.m. and the kickoff at 11 a.m. Everything can be heard right here on 660 AM The Answer.
This is Albert Mohler for townhall.com. Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia recently gave a speech at Rhodes College in which, according to the Associated Press, he, quote, criticized judges who believe the Constitution is a living document, saying they amount to policymakers who are rewriting it and making moral decisions for the entire country about same-sex marriage and other issues. Justice Scalia has become the most important intellectual defender of a way of looking at the Constitution described as originalism, arguing that the Constitution should be interpreted as it was originally written, meaning we are bound by the words, and as it was originally intended, meaning as it was understood by the original authors. These comments tell us just how concerned Justice Scalia is about how his colleagues on the court are interpreting the Constitution. The court has assumed authority far beyond its constitutional mandate, and it is increasingly unbound even by the words or the intention of the Constitution and its framers. I'm Albert Mohler.
2 little tablets is all it takes to get thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Viviscal is the #1 drug-free hair growth supplement in the U.S., with 1 box being sold every minute globally. It's clinically proven, loved by celebrities, and recommended by doctors. And right now, a 90-day supply of Viviscal is being offered in your area risk-free plus free shipping. Call 800-481-7987. Viviscal nourishes thinning hair from within. It makes thin hair full hair beautiful, and promotes the growth of thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Viviscal is so effective, 96% of women would recommend it to a friend. Listen to this.
It's vibrant, shiny, bouncy, everything you want your hair to be. I love Viviscal because it works. It completely works.
Want to try Viviscal? Every listener that calls can try it risk-free for 90 days, plus free shipping. Get thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Call now, 800-481-7987. 800-481-7987. That's 800-481-7987.
This plan is not insurance and does not meet minimum credible coverage requirements under the Affordable Care Act. This discount card program contains a 30-day cancellation and refund period. Administrator and benefits limited, Dallas, Texas, not available in all states.
You went to the dentist and he said you have to have a root canal and a crown. That's going to eat up almost $3,000. You could get it all for around $1,600. That's almost 50% less because you're a member of RealMedSavings.com. What is Real Med Savings? It's a membership like a discount club that lets you access huge networks of medical professionals for a whole lot less money. You save money because we've already negotiated the discounts. RealMedSavings.com costs less than $1 a day for the whole family. But Real Med Savings is not just for dental. It's doctor's consultations, vision, prescription drugs, and more. There's no long-term commitment and no salesman is going to call. Cancel anytime. Save real money on healthcare you need and use for everyday medical problems. Real medical savings for your entire family. RealMedSavings.com.
I just sneaked into my kids' rooms and took temperatures while they're sleeping, thanks to my Exergen thermometer. All I did was swipe their foreheads for a few seconds. It didn't even wake them up. My sister, the nurse, told us about the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, and it's the best. Real value for the money and truly a lifesaver. Now I don't have to deal with ears or rears, if you know what I mean.
I'm Dr. Frank Pompey, founder of Exergen. Thousands of hospitals and clinics rely on temporal scanners. I'm confident you will too.
The Exergen Temporal Scanner. Pick one up at Costco and other fine retailers, or visit us at Exergen.com.
Buena Brasa Brazilian Steakhouse, an award-winning restaurant in Grapevine, invites you to experience the true flavors of Brazil. And to celebrate their 15-year anniversary, Buena Brasa is now offering a very special price. For only $37.50, enjoy an exceptional dining experience with 16 sizzling, tender cuts of meat and an exquisite gourmet salad bar with over 40 items to choose from. Buena Brasa, Highway 121 at Hall Johnson in Grapevine. Call 817-251-9881. That's 817-251-9881.
Dallas, Fort Worth's home for stimulating talk. 660 AM, The Answer. The Wells Report, must-hear radio on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. President Barack Obama is now accusing White House hopefuls, the Republican Party in particular, of concocting half-baked ideas for solving the crisis in Syria, appearing to even dismiss his former Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton's call for a no-fly zone before later clarifying his view for the Democrat frontrunner. The idea of a no-fly zone, a region of Syria that the United States would protect from bombings to create a safe corridor for refugees, has emerged as a favorite option for Democrat and Republican candidates. It's a plan that allows them to stake out a more aggressive military posture than President Obama wants, while stopping short of the kind of large-scale combat troop deployments the U.S. has engaged in for years in Iraq and Afghanistan. President Obama opposes the move, said he'd like critics of his Syria policies to be asked specifically, precisely, what exactly would you do? Typically, what you get is a bunch of mumbo-jumbo. Well, that's because you're listening to the wrong people, Mr. President. As far as I'm concerned, the United States is the only country on the planet that can do what absolutely has to happen, which is why, of course, the Russians have moved in to stop us from doing the exact thing that we should do, which is to invade Syria and kill those jerks. This is the Wells Report.
Dallas Baptist University Women's Night Out featuring Shonda Pierce, Thursday, October 15th, 2015, with Lindsay McCall and Karen Williams.
You ever tried to put on a pair of Spanx in an airplane bathroom? My body twisted in ways I didn't know it could.
Focus on the funny. Get your women's group together for a fun night out. Women's Night Out at Northwood Church in Keller, Texas.
So, there I was. I didn't want to give in to the peer pressure, but they already had their bags of mascara out and their lipstick, and I'm like, what I got? Blistex.
Tickets on sale at iTickets.com. Call 1-800-965-9324. For group tickets, go to getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751. Buy 10 or more reserved seats at one time and save $5 per ticket. Buy 30 or more reserved seats at one time and save $5 per ticket and get 2 free tickets. From Salem Media Group, Inc. and Awakening Events.
Business owners, listen up. Give me an I. Give me an M. Give me a Z. What's that spell?
Incorporation, protection, success. Incorporate your business.
INC. If you're about to start a business, these 3 little letters can make the difference between making a fortune and losing everything. Because if you're not incorporated and someone sues your business, you can lose it all. Your home, your car, even your life savings. That's why Incorporate.com is now giving away a free incorporation guide to all business owners. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. Protect your home, protect your car, protect your life savings. Call 1-800-616-4933 for your free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Accountability. The NAACP is about to apply accountability to the liberal bastion of American life. What place is that? Why, San Francisco. How is that accountability going to make itself apparent? Well, somebody started doing some math, specifically the NAACP's Amos Brown, and suddenly discovered that white people in San Francisco make far more than African Americans in San Francisco. Oops! What are they going to do now? Next time on the Wells Report.
I don't like that.
Why?
Because there was no, how could this be? It's the liberal bashing of blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
This can't be, this is not tolerant, this is not acceptable anywhere else.
Accountability. Gosh, you know what? When it shows up, it's truly fun to watch. Unless, of course, you happen to be liberals in San Francisco when the NAACP comes calling and says, how come African Americans are making so much less than white people in the city by the bay? Good God, how could this be? I'll tell you next time on the Wells Report.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I like how you say it. Before you do this, throw in a debate thing if you can mix it in with Mark.
Mark Davis and I are going to be at the Democrat debate watching party Tuesday, October 13th. You don't want to miss it. Mark is going to tell you more about that, right, Mark? Of course, yes. Right now, I'm going to tell you what's coming up a little bit later on the Wells Report. Isn't it strange that white people make more money in San Francisco, California than African Americans? And the NAACP's Amos Brown says, I'm not real happy about that. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to figure out how could that possibly be? How could it possibly be that white people make more than African Americans in San Francisco, the very heart of liberalism in America? How could this be? We'll discover the reasons together next time on the Wells Report. Yes. All right, here we go. This will be Tuesday, December 22nd, 2015. Off we go, 11 p.m. This is 2015, the Wells Report Retrospective. My name is Jon-David Wells. And yes, there were good things to cheer about in the United States, specifically Texas, when it came to President Obama. I know it was hard to find them, but there were very, very good moments. Like, for example, this one, as we look back on 2015 to find good news from the Obama administration. Okay. 31 in the back. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Texas federal court said that the Obama executive action that he wanted so much, that he used his pen and his phone for, was not going to work. And then, of course, Luis Gutierrez said, we will not be deterred. Yeah? Well, I got to tell you, you may not be deterred, but you will be derailed at least this time. And you should be. This is 2015, the Wells Report Retrospective on 660 AM The Answer. This is 2015, the Wells Report Retrospective on the Wells Report, more of which will continue next. Okay. This is the Wells Report. You are listening to 2015, the Wells Report Retrospective. Yeah, there were a few good things having to do with President Obama's immigration orders. As a matter of fact, there were just plain defeats of them. A Texas federal court decided to set aside executive action by the president. Gosh, I wish more people would do that. I wish more courts would have the guts to stand up to this president and force him to do things the American way instead of the Obama way. Okay. All right, here we go. This is 2015, the Wells Report Retrospective. My name is Jon-David Wells. One of the things that makes America a great place for people to live is the fact that our rights, the rights that govern our lives, do not come from government, but instead come from God, including the right for the press to tell us that our government is malfunctioning. Guess what a CNN anchor had to say about this very topic? It's bad. And it's next on 2015, the Wells Report Retrospective. You're listening to 2015, the Wells Report Retrospective. Jon-David Wells with more of the big stories of 2015 as we continue next. Don't move. Don't move. This is 2015, the Wells Report Retrospective. There was probably nothing more painful than most of us that have anything to do with America's military than the decision of the Obama administration to declare the Fort Hood shooting workplace violence, which meant its victims could not be properly decorated. Well, as it turns out, there would be good news about even that. This is 2015, the Wells Report Retrospective. I'm Jon-David Wells. This is 2015, the Wells Report Retrospective. I'm Jon-David Wells. Stick around. More is coming up.
For a lot less than you might think. To see how quick and easy it is, visit glassdoctor.com today. That's glassdoctor.com.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your paint. Oh, yeah!
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. How are you doing? I am really surprised about what's going on in academia having to do with men in the United States. The first man to minor in women's studies at the University of Massachusetts Amherst is a guy named Jackson Katz. Okay? You can now get a bachelor in women, gender, and sexuality studies if you want to. He is an anti-sexist advocate and activist. He's also a filmmaker. He says now that sexual violence and domestic abuse are men's issues and that men would benefit tremendously from having a conversation about all of this. The only thing that I can say to Mr. Katz at this juncture is, Mr. Katz, I'm reasonably sure that you're saying what you're saying because you haven't met any of our ex-wives. You sure as hell haven't met my ex-wife. He founded a consulting firm that provides gender violence prevention and leadership training to institutions in the public and private sector. He's pioneered the use of bystander training in the U.S. military. He likens racism to sexism and told students that people interrupt other people when they make racist comments. Therefore, they should have the same mindset in response to sexist comments. Someone in the audience then, during the question and answer session, said, what about sexist comments that are contextually appropriate in a humorous setting? Well, yeah, of course. When you're joking, okay? What if somebody doesn't get the joke? Oh, we have to have the sexist activist jury sit in on and determine what somebody was trying to say. Is that right? Ugh. Somebody I love just said horse hockey. Exactly. Except it's not hockey. It's more organic. He went on to say that political correctness has value, especially if you're trying to win a political argument. Supporters of presidential candidate Donald Trump say they like him for not being politically correct, but what they really mean is they like him for saying racist and sexist things. Katz, you're one of these people. I've discovered the true value of political correctness in the United States. The true value of political correctness in the United States is not trying to get people to be more polite. It is truly simply about stopping political debate, specifically political debate in conversations where liberals are losing. Pop culture has an insidious effect on masculinity, says Katz. Listen to this. This is the part that really got me upset, okay? Yeah. He says that pop culture is causing men to check their brains and moral conscience at the door when you go to the movies. He made a film called Tough Guys, G-U-I-S-E, and said there's been a ratcheting up of what it takes to be considered menacing in the 1980s and 1990s. As evidence, Katz noted that G.I. Joe's biceps have gotten larger over the years. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone used bigger guns for their iconic roles as Terminator and Rambo than did Humphrey Bogart in the 1930s and 1940s. Yeah. Athletes and fraternity members are at a risk to themselves and others because of the pressure put on them to act masculine, according to other events from the week. One event featured a screening of a limited release documentary, The Mask You Live In, which blames America's narrow definition of masculinity for the deteriorating mental health of boys and men. You want to know what screws up boys and men in the United States? Is the fact that for the last 30 years, boys and men have been portrayed as flaming idiots. Jackasses no one would want to spend time with. We've been portrayed as being stupid, primitive, boorish, rude, and just plain idiotic. And here's more of it. The three most destructive words that every man receives when he's a boy is when he's told to, quote, be a man, unquote. Really? Do you know what I do as part of my life? I spend time with men that I know trying to re-empower them to be men. I'm talking about guys in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. No, this guy, Vicky just asked, what does he want? By the way, the guy that said this is former NFL player Joe Ehrman. Now he's a minister. He spoke on an all-male panel in 2013 called Breaking the Male Code, which, by the way, was organized by the writer Eve Ensler. Do you know who she is? She's the woman that wrote the Vagina Monologues. Right? Oh, man. Do you know what I want to do more than anything else in the whole wide world? No, I want to write a reply to the Vagina Monologues from the male perspective. You know what it'd be called? You should be afraid. You want me to say it? Fine, I'm going to say it. My reply to the Vagina Monologues will be, don't touch it. Don't touch it. My reply to the Vagina Monologues will be the dictations. No, you're not. Don't do it. They're saying it's destructive for a little boy to hear the words, be a man. Don't these people get it? If we don't act like men, who will? I'm serious. Breaking the male code. How about this? How about if you go whimper in the corner while men get to work and finish the stuff you're too emotionally tender to be able to deal with? Whether it's homicidal violence or suicidal violence, people resort to such desperate behavior only when they're feeling shamed and humiliated, or feel that they would be if they didn't prove they were real men, says psychiatrist James Gilligan, a professor at New York University. What the hell is he talking about? He can't even figure out how to get off an island. And then, following the screening of a Vanderbilt professor whose research focuses on race and sports, told the audience, quote, I should have hung myself or jumped out a window for my involvement in athletics, unquote. So they're decrying how people feel shamed and horrified and all that stuff. But because this guy played football or ran track or played baseball or whatever, he should have killed himself. These are the people we're sending our kids to listen to. No wonder they're so screwed up when they get out of college. You know, that's a masculine, that theory on masculinity that you just spewed is really, really good. I'm really impressed that you spent $120,000 for yourself to learn more about yourself. Except it's time for you to pay me part of the $120,000 you've obviously wasted on your flipping education. It's time for you to, wait for it, man up and get a real job so you can start paying me back. Or are you just going to sit around and wait, being a deadbeat ass for the rest of your life until some politician comes and pays your bills for you? Because you don't want to be shamed. Or you don't want to be humiliated for having to pay the bills that you got your butt into. Learning women's studies and gender studies. You know what? Studying women and studying gender isn't a high-paying growth industry. Maybe you can use it when you go to work in a manufacturing place making nuts and bolts. It's not going to be that. It's going to be the dictations. That's what it's going to be. It's part of the dictations. Being a woman is more predictable than being a man because men constantly have to be ready to prove their manhood, as opposed to those straightforward, sensible women who spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on makeup every year to be straightforward and sensible. How many men's magazines are out there? Playboy, Men's Health, Sports Illustrated, GQ, Esquire. How many women's magazines are out there? That's right, all the rest of them. There are 5 male magazines, and every other magazine in the world are all designed to tell women what to do next.
I can't help it if women are smarter and need, a broader, look at what's going on.
Try again.
No, you try again.
No, you
magazine
try again.
reference is
Because
wrong.
you messed that up. You messed that up.
Yeah, whatever. I'm answering the phone.
You are arguing my point.
No, you know why I'm answering the phone? Because I'm smarter than you and talk to people better.
Huh? See? I rest my case.
You're a jerk.
See? She's humiliating me, and she's shaming me. And how do I feel because I'm a man? This is the Wells Report.
We've seen Trump, Rubio, Cruz, and Fiorina. Now it's time to meet the ones that want to take them out. And this time it won't be pretty when the Democrats present their candidates on Tuesday, October 13th. Come join 660 AM The Answer at the Studio Movie Grill in Dallas to watch this horror show in person. Mark Davis and Jon-David Wells will be there to watch your back. See what Hilary, Bernie, and Jim Webb have concocted for this country's future. Tickets are just $10. Available at 660amtheanswer.com.
Sponsored by AAA Auger Plumbing Services.
Check, please. No, I got it. That's the second time this week. And you got a new smartphone? Did you get a raise?
Nope, I got a refi on my car loan with EECU Credit Union.
Can I get one too?
Sure, just call 800-849-9977. They'll beat your current APR by 2% and lower your payment.
2%? Heck, with that kind of money, I could buy lunch for you and get that new 50-inch TV.
Yeah, I was paying 4% APR and they took me down to 2% APR. Plus, I got up to 90 days to make my first payment.
But you're not a teacher.
You don't have to be a teacher to refinance your car loan with EECU. Just call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660. Tell them your current APR, and as long as you've had your loan at least 90 days, they'll beat it by 2%.
Can't beat that.
But you got to move fast. It's a limited time offer in celebration of their new Alliance Town Center branch. So call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660.
Subject to credit approval. Floor rate is 2.00 annual percentage rate. Membership required. Not valid with loans currently financed with the ECU. Additional terms and conditions apply. Call 800-849-9977 for details.
If you could choose any school from which to earn your college degree and be on your way to a better life, would you choose a school the Wall Street Journal recognized for producing some of the best qualified graduates? One the Princeton Review ranked as a leader in undergraduate education? And one U.S. News & World Report named #1 in the nation for innovation ahead of both MIT and Stanford? Discover why Arizona State University is a clear choice for your future. In addition, ASU Online offers over 100 graduate and undergraduate programs you can take 100% online and on your schedule. You'll receive the exact same curriculum, degree, and prestigious faculty as our on-campus students. For information, call 1-800-600-3122. U.S. News & World Report also ranked ASU in the top 10 best places to earn an online degree. So get started today and learn to thrive with Arizona State University online. Call today at 1-800-600-3122. That's 1-800-600-3122.
Sample comes with a 90-day order. Copays and deductibles may apply.
People who use urinary catheters are smiling. They called and got a free catheter sample pack of the new virtually painless catheters from Medical Direct Club. Call now and you can get your free catheter sample pack. 1-800-900-0285. These new catheters hurt less. You've never used catheters like this before. You'll receive the discreet pocket catheter for private use when you're not at home. The self-lubricating catheter for less pain and no mess. Some patients say it doesn't hurt at all. And the new polished eyelet catheter with virtually pain-free technology. It may reduce pain and the chance of urinary tract infections. For women, you'll receive the SpeedyCath compact catheter. About the size of lipstick, it fits right in your purse. Call now for your free catheter sample pack and free shipping. It will arrive with a 90-day supply, all at little or no cost to you. We'll even bill Medicare and your insurance for you. And if you don't experience less pain, we'll pick them up for free. Call 1-800-900-0285. That's 1-800-900-0285.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had numerous credit cards, and I was struggling with paying them off.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360 to talk to a certified counselor.
I had heard about Trinity, so I made the call. They took care of all of my credit cards, and now I am completely debt-free.
Trinity will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
The people at Trinity are very friendly. They will do whatever you need them to do in order for you to feel better about being in a very difficult place.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360.
My name is Ann, and I'm debt-free for keeps.
1-800-758-5360.
And now, a touching moment while staying in touch with Geico.
I remember it like it was yesterday. As I downloaded the Geico app, a bluebird landed on my finger. I said, "Hey, Mr. Bluebird, did you know you can add a car to your Geico policy with just a tap of your finger? Just scan the VIN number. It's so easy." After that, we watched the sunset together and ate birdseed. The birdseed tasted super weird, but the sunset was nice.
VIN scanning to add a car. Just a few taps away on the Geico app.
Listen to us live on iHeartRadio, 660 AM. The Answer. The Wells Report is on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Mark Davis is going to show up tomorrow morning bright and early, say about 7 o'clock. You don't want to miss Mark Davis. And here's why.
Hey, JD, happy Monday. It's going to be quite a week on our Tuesday show. Tomorrow morning, dreams of victory. Republicans are dreaming of winning back the White House. Rangers are dreaming of a World Series. Cowboys dream of just winning a game somewhere. Jason Chaffetz dreams of edging out Kevin McCarthy for Speaker of the House. So, which of those is likely? We'll take calls. Plus, all the overnight news we need to cover, random thoughts from the audience and me that make it all so special. Tuesday morning, Mark Davis Show. Come make it a part of your day, 7 to 10 tomorrow morning, right here on 660 AM. The Answer.
The latest gob of gobbledygookian tripe that's out there in academia is that there's some kind of unhealthy male stereotype out there that men are watching and paying attention to, and thus becoming unhealthy male stereotypes. These people that are talking about this are obviously maleophobes, not to mention the fact that they're just plain idiots. And I am simply reporting the news, okay? Interfraternity Council Vice President Jay Reynolds he took part in a panel called Maintaining Bro Status. Told the audience that they should all get therapy so they can better understand their own minds. He said that he sees unhealthy masculinity in some form every day, but he didn't elaborate on what that entails. John Zacharias, a member of Vanderbilt's Liaisons Education and advocating for psychological support, said students can see unhealthy masculinities in almost any social environment on a Friday or Saturday. Yeah. Margaret Cunningham, let's see, the Margaret Cunningham Women's Center at Vanderbilt did this. A big shout out to LEAPS member John Zacharias for his participation in the Healthy Masculinity panel tonight. Maintaining Bro Status. Fraternity men discuss masculinity and mental health. You made us proud. Yeah. And then, of course, there's Bill Savage, who says being emotional is manly. By the way, in case you're wondering, Bill Savage is the brother of Dan Savage. Dan Savage is the gay guy that teaches women how to make love to their husbands. Boy, I bet you they have a wonderful time at dinner every Thanksgiving. Anyway, Bill Savage IFC Vice President of Recruitment says he hates the term man up, or a phrase that he claims is closely related, don't be a wuss, which is not exactly what it is. He says being emotional is manly, in my opinion, said Bill. You know why he says that? Because his dad took away his stuffed animal when he was 6. The other two events were Mask for Mask, policing masculinity in the gay and bi communities. That's right, the portrayal of manhood in Magic Mike. Quote, thumb-sucking little beta males in skinny jeans, unquote. Let me ask you a question, okay? Do you want your son to grow up as a thumb-sucking little beta male in skinny jeans, or do you want him to grow up as a well-muscled, clear-thinking, responsible, straightforward asset to society? Which would you prefer? Which would you prefer? That's right. I would prefer them to be Magic Matt Swinney, because he is exactly what I just described. A responsible, upright, masculine asset to society. All of this stuff is garbage, and we are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for it. The only reason our kids need mental health screening and treatment is because of these idiots. This is the Wells Report.
Dennis Prager explains what's wrong with liberal thinking.
So Raul Castro, the dictator, got up and he said, we have to pay reparations to Cuba. This is the scenario is painted by the world's left. The problems of Cuba emanate from the American boycott, not from the totalitarian communist regime.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at noon, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on 660 AM. The Answer.
This is Albert Mohler for townhall.com. Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia recently gave a speech at Rhodes College in which, according to the Associated Press, he, quote, criticized judges who believe the Constitution is a living document, saying they amount to policymakers who are rewriting it and making moral decisions for the entire country about same-sex marriage and other issues. Justice Scalia has become the most important intellectual defender of a way of looking at the Constitution described as originalism, arguing that the Constitution should be interpreted as it was originally written, meaning we are bound by the words, and as it was originally intended, meaning as it was understood by the original authors. These comments tell us just how concerned Justice Scalia is about how his colleagues on the court are interpreting the Constitution. The court has assumed authority far beyond its constitutional mandate, and it is increasingly unbound even by the words or the intention of the Constitution and its framers. I'm Albert Mohler.
Hey, does the idea of having your home sold on time without hassle and for top dollar, does that seem unrealistic to you? Well, it doesn't have to. Hey, Dallas, it's your friend Sean Hannity with your solution and the one real estate agent to sell your home guaranteed. That's Josh DeShong of Josh DeShong Real Estate at Keller Williams. On average, Josh sells a home every 32 hours and averages hundreds of local, national, and international buyers every single week. Now, that means your home sells on time at a price that you agreed to, guaranteed, or Josh will buy it. He spends 200 times more money on marketing than the average agent. Real estate mogul and Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran only recommends Josh in DFW. And if I lived in Dallas and needed my home sold, guess what? I'd call Josh DeShong, and you should too. Call Josh now at 972-325-6644 or go online at getsold.net. That's 972-325-6644 or getsold.net.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head dealing with monthly payments, there's a powerful secret that credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $5,000 in credit card debt, you have the option to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Debt Relief Advocates, and we're offering you free information on how to virtually eliminate your credit card debt and make your monthly payment affordable. To see how much you could save, call now, 1-800-721-8733. Don't declare bankruptcy. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. Debt Relief Advocates. Live better debt-free. Find out how easy it is by calling now. For the secret the credit card companies don't want you to know, call Debt Relief Advocates now and see how much money you could save for free. Call 1-800-721-8733. That's 1-800-721-8733.
Hi, I'm Tom Kidd, engineering graduate of Texas A&M and owner of Structured Foundation Repairs. Our number is 972-484-1200. Our motto is to do the right thing. In some respects, it's hard being the company that always does the right thing. But for our customers' sake, it's very important that we do. Being fully insured, as an example, costs us a lot of money, but it protects our customers. Having employees instead of day laborers is a huge responsibility, but our dedicated employees ensure that we do the best repairs we can. Managing a large office staff can be tedious, but they provide our customers a helpful voice when they need something urgent. Returning every phone call is time-consuming, but instills our customers with confidence that we will always be there when they need us. The Aggie Code of Honor states that Aggies don't lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those that do. That code was the principle our company was founded on, and it guides our daily operations. If this sounds like the kind of company you could trust to repair your foundation, call us today for a free evaluation at 972-484-1200 or click structuredfoundation.com.
Your local pharmacist is also a Health Mart pharmacist, and they're not like other pharmacists.
After Mom's surgery, I was overwhelmed, but I was so relieved. Her Health Mart pharmacist was there to help. They explained her medication and even delivered to her house. Mom got the personal service she needed, and I got something even better. Peace of mind.
Visit healthmart.com to find a locally owned Health Mart pharmacy near you. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
This is 660 AM. The Answer. If it's important to you, we're talking about it right now on the Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. This is in the Dallas Morning News by J.R. Ridley from Vanderbilt University. Bulging biceps, big guns advance unhealthy masculinity. You must be joking. You must be joking. I just got a tweet from a guy named Jeremy who said, I get it. We don't want our boys to think being a man means we don't have emotion, but this movement wants men to be women. That's right. And you know why? Because most of the people talking are either a woman or gay. That's why. This is from Jon-David's Man School. And by the way, if there was ever a reason to put that bit back on the air, this is it. Teach you how to be a man, okay? You show me a guy in touch with his feminine side, and I'll show you a girl, soon to be his ex-girlfriend, looking for a man. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely right.
See? That's the most feminine woman in the country. But she also realizes that she loves men. She's married to the luckiest man in the country, except maybe me, because I'm also married to a woman who likes men. I'm not interested in one more clown, male or female, telling me or my children, my sons, what's wrong with men. You know what's wrong with men? Nothing. We're fine. The only thing wrong with men is that not everyone can be us. Not every male can be us. You know why? Because we don't want to shame or humiliate anybody. We don't want to make them compete.
Well, yeah, and men don't give out trophies for effort.
Oh, we want somebody to actually have to be good at something to hear that they're good at something. Well, that's just wrong. We need to tell everybody, no matter how mediocre, that they are wonderful, that they are good, that they are smart enough, and that they are good enough, and doggone it, people like them. No, you need to tell them to leather up, Cupcake, rub some frickin' dirt on it, and get to work. I don't care if your leg hurts. Get to work. Of course, I grew up in a different age. My baseball coach said, this is Craig Fogelman, Brevard High School, said baseball is pain. If you love baseball, at some level, you have to love pain. Get up and get to work. And while we're on the subject of how we're trying to destroy our men, I want you to read from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram this article by Terry Webster. White House and U.S. Department of Education initiatives are gathering more data from schools in a hunt for civil rights violations against minority and special ed students. Starting this year, every public school and district in the nation must report a spectrum of civil rights-related data directly to the federal government, according to the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights. The data ranges from the number of allegations of bullying on the basis of sexual orientation or religion, to the number of students enrolled in distance learning programs, to the number of full-time psychologists and social workers on staff. What if you happen to be working at a school where there's no bullying between an average kid and a special ed student? The federal government Department of Education worker is going to show up at your school and tell you you're a liar. So what's that going to mean? That means that for the political imperative, we're going to throw somebody under the bus. That's what it means. Most of the data is related to student punishment, including in-school and out-of-school suspensions, which education and criminal justice experts says is a growing problem. You know, we found another way for those people to discipline kids and keep them from misbehaving. We got to get rid of that too. Thankfully, we were able to get rid of that awful corporal punishment. Do you realize that there were kids walking through schools almost everywhere in America not doing anything wrong? Which means, of course, we have no justification for our jobs. Thank God we were able to get rid of actually demanding discipline from our kids. How about this in-school suspension stuff? Yeah, you know what? It's causing some kind of accountability. We cannot allow our kids to be damaged by accountability. How are we going to come up with another group of good politicians if accountability is something they have to worry about? Statewide, 2013 and 2014 discipline figures from the Texas Education Agency suggest that minority students are disciplined at higher rates. Oh my goodness, really? Of the state's well, that's not actually a number. I think that they're talking about 6,764,214 black students, 120,388 of them, 17.85%, received in-school suspensions. Of the state's 1,551,502 white students, yeah, that's wrong. It must be 676,214. Yeah. Anyway, of the state's 1,551,502 white students, 122,047, or 7.8%, received in-school suspensions. Obviously, what we need to do is we need to stop disciplining black students at all. Because as a parent of a white student, I don't want the school to stop disciplining white students, because they'll stop disciplining my kid. And he runs a greater risk of turning into a jackass. But of course, that's only a white kid problem. Black kids are only damaged by accountability and discipline. What they need to be is they need to be allowed to run free. Right? The numbers are similar in Tarrant County districts. In Arlington, 18.83% of black students received in-school suspensions, compared to 9.99% of Hispanic students and 8.32% of white students. See, after years and years and years of pummeling anybody that had anything close to even a politically incorrect statement about African American students, after 20 or 30 years of this, we still have nothing but blatant racists in school districts everywhere. That's what they're saying here. Because the statistics show that African American kids spend more time in school suspension, there's obviously racism afoot. It couldn't possibly be that African American students are misbehaving at a higher rate than any other group. Okay, let them go. Just let them do whatever they want. Right? That's the right thing to do, isn't it? Is that going to make African American students better prepared for life after high school or less prepared for life after high school? Which is it going to be? Is allowing the kids to discipline themselves by coming up with this kind of damaging gobbledygookian garbage? You know how Mark Twain discusses lies, damn lies, and statistics. Well, this is a whole group of statistics here. So we should have a quota for African American students and their discipline problems, right? So in other words, what we do is we take the percentage of white kids getting in trouble and the percentage of Hispanic kids getting into trouble, take the lower number, subtract 15%, and that's the quota of black kids that can get in trouble. Is that right? Is that how we do it? Or do we stop hiring anybody in schools except for African American people, African American teachers? Is that what we do? Is that the right thing to do? I'm just asking. Should we discipline black kids at all? Then there's this. Statewide local statistics regarding the suspension of special ed students are also higher than the general student population. Of the state's 550,555 special ed students, 14.54% received in-school suspensions. Maybe that's because they're in the wrong classes. Oh, no. No, all the kids are the same. Uh-huh. Okay. Then why do you differentiate between regular kids and special ed kids? If they're all the same, they're the same, right? See, we can't differentiate. We can't separate. We can't do anything. Everybody's got to be treated equal. This is socialism at its best. This is socialism breaking down in the face of reality. This is what happens here. How many more generations of kids do we want to ruin for this ridiculous socialist experiment? The only reason these kids are able to snap out of it. And oh, by the way, a perfect example of who I'm talking about, Dr. Ben Carson. The only reason these kids snap out of it is because of the realities of the free enterprise capitalist society. They say, you know what? If I don't go out and earn a living, I'm going to starve to death today. More data on student discipline being collected from schools. Feds are looking for civil rights violations. Minorities have a higher rate of suspensions. Experts lament the effect of zero tolerance policies because if there's a zero tolerance policy, well, that means that anybody breaking the policy gets discipline. Well, if there's a problem with zero tolerance policies and it's racial in nature, how can it possibly be anything except a racist policy? So we have to get rid of zero tolerance policies because only the black kids or a greater percentage of black kids are falling victim to zero tolerance policies, which means that obviously the person that came up with a zero tolerance policy is a racist. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer. Back with more in just a moment.
The calendar says October, so surely our air conditioning needs are done, right? Where do you think we live? Canada? It's Texas. We have plenty of AC days left, so if your AC is not working, call my company, 9724-WALKER, WalkerAC.com. It's Walker Air Conditioning. Soon enough, we'll get you set for heating, but we're not done with AC yet. So if yours is on the fritz and you're looking for reliable service people who are going to come in, fix the problem, not try to upsell you, it's Walker AC. 52 years in the business, 50% off diagnostic fees right now. They're family-owned, loyal company, looking for quality customers. I love them. You will too. It's Walker AC, WalkerAC.com or 9724-WALKER, the number 972, the number 4, and Walker. 0% interest up till 2020 on select systems or up to $1,100 rebate. They're totally your headquarters if you need a new system, but if you don't, you don't, and they'll just fix it. Get out and you'll say thank you. You'll thank me for getting you hooked up with WalkerAC.com, 972-4-WALKER or WalkerAC.com.
What would an extra $250 a month mean to you? For some, it's a little financial breathing room. For others, it's a car payment, a home repair, or help with college tuition. Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans, and I've got some great news if you're looking to save money on your mortgage. All it takes is a simple phone call to Quicken Loans at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. Folks who refinance with HARP can save an average of $250 a month. That's $3,000 a year. Our home loan experts fully understand the HARP guidelines, and they'll walk you through our streamlined process. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for more information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
A non-attorney spokesperson. The Sentinel Group with principal office in Temecula, California is responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisements. Services may not be available in all states. Attention, if you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to cash compensation. Call 800-341-0345 now. Xarelto and Pradaxa are prescription blood thinners used to reduce the risk of blood clots and stroke. Dangerous side effects have been discovered, which have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Call 800-341-0345 now if you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced internal bleeding or were hospitalized for a serious bleeding event. Don't be a silent victim. Call 800-341-0345 now to see if you may be entitled to a cash award and substantial financial compensation. Time is limited to file a claim, so call 800 800-341-0345 now. Lines are open 24/7. Call 800-341-0345. That's 800-341-0345. 800-341-0345.
What would you do if you could speak Spanish? Have a barbecue with the Spanish-speaking family next door?
Hola, ¿qué tal? Sí.
Swap stories with locals on a Costa Rican rainforest safari?
Mira, es maravilloso.
Order your favorite Tex-Mex in Spanish?
Quisiera un burrito de carne, por favor.
Once-in-a-lifetime adventures to everyday moments. If you've always wanted to learn Spanish, to have real conversations with native speakers, now you can. Because Rosetta Stone is letting everyone who calls try an absolutely free demo of its powerful language learning program. Call now, 1-800-500-3022. Fully immersing you in the Spanish language, Rosetta Stone is fast, fun, and easy. Learn on your computer or iPad. Practice on the go with your smartphone at your own pace and at your own convenience. If you've always wanted to speak Spanish, this is your chance with the fastest, easiest way to learn a language guaranteed. But don't wait. Call Rosetta Stone now for your free demo. 1-800-500-3022. That's 1-800-500-3022.
Dallas Baptist University Women's Night Out featuring Shonda Pierce, Thursday, October 15th, 2015, with Lindsay McCall and Karen Williams.
You ever tried to put on a pair of Spanx in an airplane bathroom? My body twisted in ways I didn't know could.
Focus on the funny. Get your women's group together for a fun night out. Women's Night Out at Northwood Church in Keller, Texas.
So, there I was. I didn't want to give in to the peer pressure, but they already had their bags of mascara out and their lipstick, and I'm like, what I got? Blistex.
Tickets on sale at iTickets.com. Call 1-800-965-9324. For group tickets, go to getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751. Buy 10 or more reserved seats at one time and save $5 per ticket. Buy 30 or more reserved seats at one time and save $5 per ticket and get 2 free tickets. From Salem Media Group, Inc. and Awakening Events.
660 AM. The Answer. Now, by popular demand, The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to The Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Mars may be dominating the news, especially with the Matt Damon movie and Orion, the spacecraft getting ready to go to Mars. But just in case you've forgotten, there are 8,400 brand new high-resolution photos released online from NASA about the Apollo missions to the moon. It was a series of photos taken by NASA Apollo astronauts with Hasselblad cameras in the 60s and the 70s. They were released to archivist Kip Teague, who uploaded them to Flickr this week. They feature everything from classic American flag on the moon shots to selfies of smiling Harrison Schmitt and Gene Cernan aboard Apollo 17, to stunning panoramas of the Earth from space. There are more on the way, up to 13,000 shots from space total, which would be made available online by the end of the week. There was a time when the United States sent men to the moon and brought them safely back to the Earth. They went in peace for all mankind. I wonder if they'll ever go again. The executive producer of The Wells Report is Vicki Steifer. Technical director, conductor of the Wells Report Orchestra is Magic Matt Swinney. My name is Jon-David Wells. Have a great evening. See you again tomorrow night for another edition of The Wells Report.
Sean Hannity explains how Trump has earned to be the frontrunner.
Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, has earned his status, his frontrunner status, fair and square. He didn't steal it. He hasn't lied. If anything, he's been refreshingly honest. Now, Trump may not be a conservative the way I'm a conservative, but certainly his supporters are.
The Sean Hannity Show, afternoons at 2, right before Michael Medved at 5 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. I love birthdays, and our friends at Abacus Foundation Repair are celebrating 15 years of serving North Texas with the highest quality foundation repair, and they want to give something to you. On their 15th anniversary, $1,000 off any job with 10 pilings or more. Not only are you going to save $1,000, you'll have the peace of mind knowing that with Abacus Foundation, you're getting the elite state-of-the-art solution for your home. Millennium composite pilings. Nobody else has them. Abacus has an A-plus business rating from the Better Business Bureau, 6 straight years running on that. The expansion and contraction of Texas soils mean a lot of us have foundation issues. You don't want to call the wrong people. Call the right people first for the absolute best foundation repair. Affordable, reliable home warranty that you can pass on to subsequent owners of your home. Give them a call today, 972-406-9000, 972-406-9000, abacusfoundationrepair.com. Ask about 1,000 off, abacusfoundationrepair.com.
Think you're fat? You might just be bloated. Find out by calling now for a free trial of New Biotics, the new breakthrough that flattens bloated bellies fast. For a free trial, call 1-800-655-2543.
I used to be plagued by pot belly and constant bloating. After taking New Biotics, my belly flattened and continues to get flatter. My sense of bloating and discomfort is gone.
If you've got a big belly, you might not be fat. You might just be bloated. New Biotics is scientifically formulated with natural ingredients to flatten bloated bellies fast by cleansing pounds of rotting food and toxic sludge from your body. It even combats periodic heartburn and acid reflux. So just think how much better you'll look and feel. Think you might be bloated? Call now for a free trial of New Biotics and see how much flatter it makes your belly. You might be surprised. But hurry, call now for details while these free trials last. 1-800-655-2543. That's 1-800-655-2543. 1-800-655-2543.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Rich Dennison. At least 10 dead from floods in South Carolina after days of torrential rains and historic flooding.
We've seen flooding of more than 300 roads, 150 bridges, and not just flooding, we've seen some roads eroded as well, partially eroded with sinkholes or entirely washed away.
Fox's Steve Harrigan.